puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzle hearts, we're in this together. Feeling the piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Feeling the piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Feeling the piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Feeling the piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Feeling the piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to the first competition, the first EJJ of 2026. Can I get a sign of life from all the participants? Greetings, everybody. And welcome to those who are viewing on YouTube. And there's already a conversation going on this morning about how cold it is where everybody is. First snow in Trier yesterday, and others also have some snow and minus temperatures. And yeah, good morning to my co-host, Jim. Where are you?
Good morning, Michelle.
Oh, there you are. Good morning. So, yeah, Happy New Year, and welcome to another year of puzzling.
I'm excited to get to kick it off with you, Michelle. This is going to be really, really cool. You know, we had a great year of puzzling last time around, so it's going to be really, really cool to kick it off with this solo 1,000 and just get people rolling away really, really quickly for another fun year of putting little bits of cardboard together.
Exactly. Yeah, and so the theme for today is looking back at 2025 and people's puzzling goals. What were they? Did people achieve them? And yeah, just looking back at, I mean, a very multifaceted year of different ways of, yeah, tracking one's progress in puzzling or having any type of goals. So yeah, I'd love to start the question off with you, Jim. What were your goals related to puzzling in 2025, and did you achieve them?
You know, I think that I did. One of my puzzle goals for the year was to just become a little more fluent, a little better at speaking and doing the commentary in general. Which I think I've gotten a little better on. I'm not quite as nervous as I used to be whenever I started out on all of it. But on the puzzle itself, I've been able to successfully get a couple of puzzles done under the hour line, which I'm pretty excited about. So, and for somebody that's practicing on and off, you know, just to like do theory checks and everything, that's pretty cool. So I'm excited.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, also that you're getting into puzzling, not only chatting about puzzling, also, yeah, getting some puzzling in with Mari and other folks. Yeah, so those who are viewing, yeah, feel free also to write in the comment what your puzzle goals were and if you how you yeah, how you went with them. We had some really nice answers from some of the participants, and we'll be reading out more during the competition. But I really liked one of the answers was from Tammy. She said, I didn't set specific goals because I want to be open to new possibilities, and I'm very happy with what happened. And I really like that because, yeah, I think, yeah, I think there's also a trap, like if you like setting New Year's resolutions or like or like typical types of goals that often it's almost like you have the whole year planned out. It's like you know what's going to happen and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And I like how she said I want to be open to new possibilities because there's many different things that could come that you're not expecting. So she says if she had to pick one specifically, it would be to try and do more of her to-do puzzles. And she thinks she failed badly at that because she posted a video showing all her like to-do puzzles. Yeah, so what do you think about like New Year's resolutions in general and setting specific goals?
I think making them realistic is a great start. You know, um, you know, I've seen people do I want to run like you know, like I want to end up running a marathon before the end of the year. and not really considering conditions of like how cold it is, that kind of thing. I think um, one of the very fun resolutions that I've seen pop up a couple of times is people saying that they just want to limit the number of puzzles that are in the house, like Tammy has said. And puzzlers have a tendency to collect far more than they than they do. We've all been to a puzzle swap where the goal is to get rid of puzzles, and yet somehow magically everyone that attends comes back with more than what they brought, which is a weird physics phenomenon on its own, that we've all been through. So
Puzzles multiply.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fun. So I think you can make a lot of really good goals that are excellent, especially if you chunk them down a little bit. So maybe your goal is to get puzzles down under 50 minutes consistently. Start by getting them, maybe that's the end of the year goal, but you can start by being like, all right, maybe by the halfway point, I have it down under an hour consistently. That way you can give yourself small little wins en route to that final thing, which is really.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, good advice. Realistic goals, and if you remember mood boards, remember the text on mood board. It says set realistic goals and then crush them. All right, it's 10 o'clock, and looks like we are ready to unwrap the puzzles. So go ahead, everybody. Let's see what we are dealing with today.
What are we kicking the year off with?
Oh, and SJ says that she in 2025, one of her goals was to get a major trophy, which she did. Oh, she got 2 of them, and also to travel to 2 new competitions abroad. And she did that as well. Yeah, so traveling can also be a goal. I think several people mentioned that going to Worlds or Europeans was a goal, or attending the Nationals. Yeah, so check I think they have stickers on this one. Remove any stickers. Check that the box lid comes off easily. And then put the lid back on the box in the middle of the table, ready to go. Okay. Looks like everybody is unwrapped. Okay, so the time limit is 3.5 hours. And we'll do a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, and congratulations on starting a whole nother year of puzzling with this 1,000-piece puzzle, and everybody is rolling and getting to work right away on it. This is going to be really, really exciting, and I'm just jazzed to be here with you for another one, Michelle.
Yeah, happy to have you, Jim. And yeah, let's check out the first puzzle of this year. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle from the brand Happily, and it's called Shops. And we have, 8 shops, each with their own separate white border, so separating them. So yeah, a really fun, colorful puzzle with lots of nice details: bicycles, patisserie, bakery, florist, arts and crafts, ice cream, I love books, and birthday shop. So yeah, that's the fun puzzle for today.
That's really cool. I always get a kick out of collage puzzles because they tend to run pretty fast in general. And this one looks like it should be kind of quick, but there's a lot of finicky details in some of these cells. So this may not necessarily be a, blowout, having a finisher that's going to be very, very close to the exact hour mark. But I do think that this will be a really, really quick puzzle in general.
Yeah, I think people will have fun with this one, and yeah, collages tend to be faster than non-collage puzzles. Yeah, and it has lots of nice details in it. There's lots of nice text, and even the text are different colors and different fonts, so that also helps to separate the text. They also have different roofs, which is quite nice. Some of them have chimneys, some of them don't. Some are more pointy roofs, others have different textures. So a great puzzle for pick and place, but also a great puzzle for sorting. So depending on what you tend towards.
Oh yeah, well, in a 1,000 early on, everybody has to make this choice of, are they going to do a big sort up front, or are they going to start doing these like pulls as they go through? And it could really go either way at the start of this. We can see that several puzzlers are just working on their flip and getting a lot of border pulled off to the side.
Yeah, so we're going to start at A today. We've got double A for Aaron from the UK. We have Alejandro from Spain, Alexandra from Switzerland, so Alexandra B from Switzerland, and then Alexandra M from Austria, Anna from Slovenia, and Angelica from Germany. And
Yeah,
for those who are not familiar
oh,
with Happily, Happily is a British brand. Yeah.
well, and they're happily going to town already. We're coming up on the 3 minute line, and you can see that that Aaron in the upper left hand corner there just flying away. I really like how he's being really systematic with how he's going through that pile. To get things flipped out rather than just diving into the middle. You can see that Alejandro, fantastic, absolutely fantastic, amazing puzzler, and you can see why, being really thorough. It looks like he's doing multiple little sets of sorts off to the side there, but look at how disciplined he is at putting the pieces above the build field area. Alexandra doing the same thing here, where almost all of those pieces are up high. She is using a lot of that table space in order to make sure that this flip gets done very, very quickly and efficiently. She's not fighting the pile and like re-going over things with her wrist. There's just space galore that she can use. Alexandra in the lower left-hand corner, you can see that she's flipping away from the main part of her file of the pile here, above where the pile starts, and that's really cool because you have to make sure that you're flipping in the direction that you want to end at. Anna using two different puzzle boards there to get rolling, and Angelica using a lot of that space there. I think she's using the middle of the table as a divider between where the pile is going to exist and then where the rest of the puzzle is going to start being built as she gets going.
Yeah, I really like what Alexandra said, Alexandra B said about her puzzle goals. My goal was to better estimate the time I need for a puzzle. So that's also a skill that you can train. Looking at a puzzle, I mean, especially with when you have to compare two puzzles, like in the Double Trouble scenario or at Worlds. So yeah, that's something interesting that she wanted to train. There are still many discrepancies where it took much longer than expected. Yes, that is something very tricky. Also, Anna says, my 2025 goals sort of evolved throughout the year. Hang on, I'll just put, I like what she said, but I'll just put a few more people up on the screen first. So still a lot of the A's. And yeah, and just, this is for some people their first time to do a 1,000 piece puzzle in a competition, so good luck to, especially to them. So Anna says, this time last year I had no idea that this thing called speed puzzling even existed. In the second half of January I started. In February I decided to use my annual holiday to go to Worlds in Valladolid. At that time my goal was just to finish in the 90 minutes. As that time passed, the goal evolved into finishing under an hour, and somehow I ended up in the finals. So yes, my goals were definitely reached. I also have an amazing pair partner, and I never imagined pair puzzling could be so much fun, as well as team puzzling. I made 3 amazing friends for life, and as my involvement in the puzzle world continued, I kept and keep meeting new people who have a lot of potential to become good friends. So yeah, finding a good group of friends and finding a team and a pairs partner can also be, yeah, something to look back on and yeah, to be happy with.
Hey, Ann, leave some success for the rest of us. That is too much of a great year. You have to leave room for other people to like enjoy things. No, honestly, congratulations. It's a really, really exciting time, and we're super happy for you.
Yeah, so here on screen now we have Anna R from Finland. Then we have Anna S from the Netherlands, Anna Roos from the Netherlands, Aria from Indonesia, Cameron from Canada, and Carolyn from Germany.
Oh wow! And you can see everybody is just going to town here. We're getting ready. We're getting ready to cross the 7 minute line. So a lot of the super speedy puzzlers are about done with their flip at this point. and getting ready to start on the assembly. Anne is doing a great job. You can see that a lot of that border has already been pulled off to the side. And I think there's a secondary sort of those blue letterings. I think it might be bakery going in there, and that's going to be pretty exciting. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, Anne is doing finishing up the rest of that sort, but a lot of that border is coming over to the left-hand side. And Arus, in the upper right-hand, you can see there's lots of what we sometimes call little squirrel piles of smaller little chunks of sort rather than one large one. And it looks like those yellows and oranges are really speaking to her, and she's making those great pulls. Aria is using a big puzzle tray there to pull out a lot of those edges, and then just sets them aside completely rather than having them stay on the table and kind of taking up brain space. Just remove them completely. I think this is going to be a puzzle where, unless you really know what the border is or how to manipulate it, it's going to be difficult to start with the border on this one. So I think that's going to be a pretty strong move, but everybody puzzles differently, and some people really need that border. You can see Cameron doing a big swipe as well for edge pieces, and setting them off to the side, finishing up the rest, and is going to get going on an initial big pull here. I think I'm not sure, those look like brown pieces that might go towards, yeah, I think that's the like roof of the upper left hand corner cell there, which is really exciting. And Carolyn is also doing a great job. You can see that sun coming in for an early day of puzzling, and Carolyn here has made multiple little piles of pieces and is going to do a big sort up front. And this is always exciting, is the trade-off of the investment of a big sort early on these 1,000-piece puzzles going to save you time down the line? Hopefully it does, and in a lot of cases it will. You know, these 1,000-piece puzzles, everything gets magnified. Every choice adds up at, dramatically over the course of the whole run.
Yeah. So what we can see here, I've just put Kiara on screen, that she's going for the border. It does have a very white border, but as you can see that they also have tips of colors on there, so it does edge onto the house as well. So it's not that, like, there are some happily puzzles where you have like completely white pieces, but if I remember correctly, the completely white pieces, there was only a few of them. Most of them also have like maybe 30% color on them as well. So yeah, I'm just going to read some.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, so that helps as well. So I think I did the border a bit later. I don't think I started on it. I just went, I really love like text, and so I think I went for some specific text, and the bicycles also jumped out at me. But yeah, we had just on the screen some moments ago, Anarus. Now she said halfway through 2025, I noticed that I was just a few puzzles behind doing one puzzle a day on average. So I tried to reach 365 puzzles. I'm not sure yet if I will try again this year, but this EJJ will be my 4th puzzle, so I am on schedule. So if your goal is to do one puzzle per year, you need to have done a 4th puzzle by today. Yeah. And Aria said his goal in 2025 was to attend Worlds and to be in all finals. He didn't get to be in all the finals, but he still had a good time. And on screen right now, we have Chiara from Italy, Danica from the Netherlands, Dietmar from Germany, Elena from Finland, Emilia P from Sweden, and Evely from Estonia.
Oh man, we could see Kiara just going to town on that border. We're getting ready to cross 11 minutes and about 20 seconds here, and she almost has the whole thing done. Michelle, you're absolutely right. I think there's just enough color on a lot of those edges to be able to map out where those buildings are sitting and do them in little clusters and then line them up. That's really, really cool. And you're right, happily could go either way on that aspect of which way you're going to play it out. So really cool to see different routes already being taken on this. Danique doing a great job to finish up this flip. It's not easy to maintain that concentration and to keep it going the whole time and start making those pulls. Danique's doing a great job getting this wrapped up here, so that way she can begin on that assembly. Dimar in the upper right hand corner. Sorry if I butchered the name there. um, doing a lot of work on a puzzle board, which is great. You can see that they don't have a ton of space, so they're using that additional puzzle board to actually do a lot of the assembly, so that way they can save room. I think that's a great use of a puzzle board rather than just storage. Having it be the place that you can put a lot of chunks is brilliant. Alina in the lower left hand corner, I think they've decided to go for edge pieces, and they're doing all of that edge work in chunks, and then they're going to worry about placement later. That's really, really slick, because then you can focus on one thing at a time. Amelia P, a lot of those edges are coming in, but while they're working on the edges, they're also doing pretty decent sized color pulls to get those roofs of the shop rolling. I think they have that brown, that brown textured roof that's going to be in the upper left hand corner of the puzzle at the end. That's looking really, really strong, as well as that textured blue blue roof that's going to stick out as well. Really, really slick job, and that's a great texture to latch onto early on. And Ed Lee in the lower right-hand corner has a lot of that purpley blue blue roof. I will say it has this like weird pink texture in the background, so on screen it's going to read a little purple to us. It has these like blue and pink dots, so it'll read purple on screen for us.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. So I also looked at the screen and I was like, which one is the purple roof? But it's it's a blue roof with like pink details on it. So from a distance, it looks purple. Yeah, but some really nice progress so far at 13 minutes. So with us today, we also have Fenna from Belgium, Fleur from the Netherlands, Graham from United Kingdom, Heike from Germany, Helen from the UK, and Ilona from Germany.
Oh wow. Yeah, somebody somebody in the chat was asking if the brand's cut is nice. And yeah, thank you SJ for chiming in there. It happily does have a really nice cut, and there are different shapes. But there are a lot of standards, those two prongs opposite sides of each other throughout here.
Yeah, I think especially looking at the border pieces are a lot more similar looking and like similar sizes, but within the picture itself, there are lots of shapes. However, there still can be some false fits on color block areas.
Absolutely. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, Fenna here has done a pretty decent sized sort. You can see those piles of yellows and pinks further out, and has all of the pieces above the build field rather than off to one side or below. And they are going to town on those roofs. I think that's going to be a pretty attractive start point for a lot of the puzzlers, but that is also pretty big. So I'm always surprised what routes puzzlers take, because things look differently once you're in the pieces than when whenever you initially approach it. But those brown and blue pink sparkled roofs look really nice. I'm kind of shocked that fewer puzzlers have gone for that really bright pink speckled roof on either side with the rounded edges, because that's a pretty clear demarcation line. But I guess it might get a little muddled within the pieces with how some of that flooring looks. But you can see that they're doing a really excellent job here. Fleur has done those groupings. Graham going for the full border and is trying to wrap it up, but you can see at far left-hand side has done little groups of roof pieces and might have some of that together. Really, really slick. Haber in the lower left-hand corner doing those a pretty decent sized sort up front, and is using multiple boards to set themselves up for success. Helen has that brown roof almost done and is starting to branch down into the rest of that house, rather than doing a lot of jumping around, being pretty consistent and trying to get one whole cell completed. That brown roof is connected to the almost fully green building with some black background. So if you can discern which green is going with which building, you're going to have a really slick run finishing that up. I think trying to break that down into even smaller sections is going to be really slick. And you can see that they've done that, getting little tidbits together, trying to make these islands that will then all join together in one big group. And Iona in the lower right-hand corner doing a major sort up front. You can see all of these piles being collated by pure color, really, really slick. And you always hope that the investment early on pays out down the line. So you can see we're getting ready to cross the 17 minutes and 30-second line. And Iona's doing a fantastic job here getting that sort squared away.
Yeah. Happily is, yeah. So if people want to get started in speed puzzling 1,000 piece puzzles, Happily is like the perfect place to start. They have the most suitable puzzles for speed puzzling. They have a lot of collages. They have a lot of like images with not much going on in the background, so very minimal background, and so it's they've got big color sections, easy to sort, and just really fun images. We've used two before. We've done Something Fishy, which was a pairs 1,000, and then we also did Art Dogs as a solo. So yeah, and people got really good times on these. So yeah, a really good place to start. So Graham says that his goals were, 1 was to start a puzzle-related business, 2 to use it to make powerful puzzling allies, and 3 assimilate their powers to become the ultimate puzzler. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And Jody says in the comments that Graham should be good at this puzzle because he does all the shopping. So.
So maybe has seen it before, which is a-okay. That happens from time to time. You still, it's still a hard work to try to do these 1,000-piece puzzles, in one sitting at speed. So that's really impressive. And I will say for Graham, it's wildly impressive to just start absorbing powers. I don't know what you're going to do with the puzzle business. I hope it takes off eventually for you. but the absorption of powers has gone really well. I'm kidding. Graham has done a fantastic job with Puzzle Guzzle, and it's really phenomenal.
Yeah. And Cameron said his main goal was to so Cameron was on a few screens before. I forgot to read his. A main goal was to qualify past the individual preliminary round to a semi or a final round, and that was success for him, so he was very pleased with that. So yeah, let's see who else is with us. We're at 19 minutes, and yeah, some really good progress so far with borders and rooftops mainly at this point. It'll be interesting to see how others are tackling this one. On screen right now we have Inga S from Lithuania, Inga S from Netherlands, Inka from Finland, Isabel from Canada, Eva from Czech Republic, and Katerina from Germany.
Wow, and look at the progress everybody has made here as we're coming up on the just passing the 20-minute line. Inga has done lots of little piles of pieces to start making progress on. You can see that they have a puzzle board off to one side, and they are working diligently on getting that roof together. Really well done. Inga in the upper middle has that full border completed and has started to sunburst down into the rest of the puzzle with those roofs, and is now doing some, I think she's doing some Dead Reckoning process here to get some of those little islands built out that are going to be really, really handy for later. I think there's some signs being built a little lower, trying to get as many of the really easy chunks lined up as she goes. Inka doing a fantastic job. Might be just slightly ahead of Inga at this point. Doesn't have the border fully joined, but has a little bit more of the roofs lined up and built down, and some more islands throughout the middle. It's going to be really exciting to see where these puzzlers start hitting their stride. We're coming up on like 21 minutes and change here. And so that initial burst of adrenaline will start wearing off. You can see Isa in the lower left-hand corner has all the pieces over on the left-hand side and is doing a great job getting that blue and pink roof built out, got the outline squared away, and then filled it in very rapidly, and is starting to branch down to try to build the rest of that out. Really well done. And I want to point out for Isa, this competition started at 4 in the morning for them. So they are up early and trying to use every brain cell that wants to go to sleep right now. So they're doing a fantastic job considering how jet lagged they probably are while doing this. Eva in the lower middle has those roofs lined out. They went for yes, they went for that pink roof with a little bit of a bump through the top. Probably did that outline and then just filled it in through the middle. You can see they've done a little bit of grouping sorting, and they're going for a little bit of a chaos setup here because they have a lot of their pile in the middle of the build field, and then they're delivering those pieces to about where they're going to go to line up for a zipper assembly. Really cool. And you can see Jay Katarina in the lower right-hand corner has done a pretty hefty sort up front using multiple boards to try to give themselves as much space as possible. It's really, really, whenever you don't have a giant full table, doing everything you can with the boards in order to give yourself space is really, really smart move. Oh wow! You'd see how excited Jay Katarina is, just from using those little poles. You can see that they've made multiple roofs on that board already, kind of sideways almost. It's interesting. Rather than working them face up, they're kind of working them up and down, which is a really really cool cool way to go about it. And if your eye sees it that way, you know, however you get the pieces in, that's how you get them in. And people are flying right now. You know that fatigue is going to start hitting in once we cross that 35-minute mark or so. So getting as much of the easy things out of the way early can really give you a boost later on, because then you can look back at that success marker, and keep yourself rolling pretty quickly.
And Isa is someone who streams on Twitch, so you could see she had like a different camera angle there, one from in front and one from above. It was quite interesting. Yeah, so check them out on Twitch. Yeah. I don't know the name, but
it's a Radical Puzzler on Twitch.
Okay. Okay.
And they are rad. They're fantastic humans.
So we have with us Jane from Denmark, Jessica J from Germany, Jessica W from Germany, Jonathan from the United Kingdom, Jukka from Finland, and Karina from Germany.
Oh wow! And look at the progress that's been made here. Jane Ludsford, I think there's Jane has multiple people in the same room at the same time, which can make that so much more enjoyable at a awkward time period. The U.S. folks are up here at dark 30 in the morning, which is really exciting to see how huge the EJJ has gotten, that there's been so many U.S. players that want to be in on this, and Jane's doing a fantastic job getting a lot of that roof lined up. Jessica in the upper middle here almost has that full border complete, and they have a lot of that roof. They're doing a great job here to have that all lined out here as we cross the 25-minute line. And they're also sporting some fantastic looking EJJ sweatshirt merch. That must be super cozy this morning.
Yes.
And a great way to kick off the year.
I that made me very happy to see, Jessica. Thank you. I've got my hoodie on. Just felt so cozy this morning.
And an imaginary 5 seconds of bonus time will be removed from your no, nothing like that. But that's really cool, and we're glad you're having a great time, and keep on pushing. You can see Jessica in the upper right hand corner also going for a lot of those roofs, and you can see that they haven't done a full sort up front, but I really like how Jessica is using both hands to do that pull, and then sets themselves up for success by using a very specific color pole and then going back into the roofs to try to line up where they're going to go. Really, really smart. Lower left-hand side, I think that's Jonathan Nash. It's using multiple hexagon sorting trays, which is really cool. I think they're trying to sort entire buildings into each tray, so that way they can zipper each one up individually. That's really cool. SJ in the chat is saying that John's been practicing a full sort up front on these, which, okay, I'm glad that's what I was saying. And yeah, I agree. I'm hoping it pays off, and it's looking like it just might. The more precise you are early, the faster you go on the later. And Yuka in the lower middle is doing a lot of those darker colors early on. That those that blue, that pink blue background piece, and that brown, I think, has gone in pretty well here and has sorted several of the other colors off to the left hand side. So they're going to try to get a lot of those easy chunks lined in and then fill in the rest. I'm always curious whenever people use multiple sorting trays how they decide to break down which things they're going to put on which tray. So it's really, really cool to see. And Karina in the lower right-hand corner, you can see they've decided to go for a couple different sorting trays as well. It might just be slices of paper, but they are they have multiple roofs, and they also have a big chunk of building there and a lot of border built, but not totally together. And I love that idea of getting as much done as you can where you can, and then moving on to get success elsewhere. That's one of those great puzzle goals, is to be able to let go of something that isn't working and redirect yourself to keep beginning as many pieces in as you can as you go on. We all get kind of hyper focused sometimes on trying to get some projects done. Oftentimes leaving for a moment and then coming back makes you so much quicker on it, or you have new information that'll help it go in a little bit quicker. And Karina's doing an excellent job right now. I know we're starting to shuffle up the who's on screen a little bit here, and
yeah, I just left Jessica W and Yuka on screen a bit longer because not only have they done some rooftops, but they've both got underneath the purple rooftop, they've also got the big text that says bakery. So that's a really nice big chunk that they've done. So each of the buildings has a different colored rooftop, and then below that they have like the strip of text. So yeah, looks really nice to have that part done already as we come up to 29 minutes. So we're halfway through the alphabet. We're now, well, the Speed Puzzles alphabet is A to K because there's whenever we split the alphabet, it's since we have a lot more names in between A to K than L to Z. So here we have Katarina E from Austria. Then we have Kati R from Germany, Laura from Hungary, Lynn from Denmark, and Lenka from Slovakia. And I think it's Lynn and Jane who are at the tables next to each other.
Yeah.
They're both from Denmark, and they have similar tables. Okay. Nice to puzzle with a friend.
All right, you can see in that upper left, Katarina doing a great job getting those roofs lined up. You can see that they've pushed all of those border pieces that they weren't sure on off to the side, just totally leaving them off in their own little zone to exist in, while they make better progress on a lot of those buildings. You can see that they've lined up several of those first row of roofs and worked downwards just a little bit. Kati in the upper middle here, has done a really good job. I've kind of kept an eye on them while people weren't looking. They have a lot of that green building already worked out, and they've done several chunks of border, even though it's not fully completed all around. And they have several small chunks of roof also lined up as well. And Kati is one of those puzzlers that hops around and does little groups of sections that they see easily, and zippers them up as they go, rather than doing big sorts or big groups. Kind of does little chunks of things as best as they can, and then hops around. So Kati is doing a really, really great job here, and is flying through this 1,000-piece puzzle as we cross the 31-minute line. And I want to remind people, 1,000 pieces is a lot. Hannah in the chat was even saying that they don't think they don't have patience for doing a full sort up front. Sorting isn't everybody's favorite, but sometimes it's just good practice to give it a go, so that way you can get good at quick color or texture recognition and applying that quickly. Laura in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that rather than doing that first row of roofs and getting those lined out, they've actually done that bottom row of roofs pretty quickly here, and are doing an excellent job. That bottom row is a little wacky because there's multiple of those triangle roofs and slightly different colors, but they stand out really, really well. And I think Laura's done an excellent job getting those worked out, and is now working on that upper row of them. Lean in the lower, or sorry, Len in the lower left hand corner. Similar tactic, oddly enough, has done that lower row of roofs. Which is kind of an awkward phrase to think, the bottom roof rather than the top roof. And you always learn new ways to say things while puzzling. I'm sure everybody has done that a time or two, where they've looked at the puzzle and described it a different way than what it is. And as long as it makes sense to you, you're doing an excellent job. And Lean's doing that in spades. Lenka in the lower middle has done the full border, has the brown and then the blue pink speckled roof built out from that top, but is now trying to get those chunks of roofs down through the middle, so that way they can sandwich in from either the bottom to the middle or from the top to the middle, and use a little bit of shape work in order to accelerate things as they go. They're doing some hopping around to try to get out those oranges and yellows. And as long as you're seeing the colors and the textures, you're doing a great job. And that's what Lenka's doing right now, just plowing through the next iteration of pieces and really making some great progress. The lower right-hand corner, I think that's Lenny.
Leone.
Leone, I apologize for butchering your name. That's going to be my New Year's, is try to not injure as many names as we go through. Leone's doing a great job. You can see that they're doing the outline of some of those buildings entirely, using that feature plus one of the white outline plus a feature of the building in order to make that ring. And they've done a little bit of sorting as well. And so they're going to make some progress here, make up some time. You can see that they've sorted those borders down into the middle and are hopping from place to place to try to wrap this up. And they are doing a great job. As we come across here, the 34-minute line, and these puzzlers are just going to town. And we know that fatigue is going to start setting in. So for folks that this is their first time doing a 1,000-piece puzzle in competition, this is really, really exciting, and where you want to give yourself that extra mental boost of, I can do this and I am doing this. And gosh darn it, you have a whole bunch of people here with you doing this doing this puzzle with you in the morning at speed. So good luck and keep on trucking.
Yeah, and it's really great to see how things are looking at 34 minutes. Yeah, it's interesting. So people really are going for the borders and the rooftops. I feel like when I did it a bit more pick and place, a bit more text, bicycles, just like when I saw a detail that stuck out, that I just kind of placed it roughly where it was. So yeah, but I'm also someone who doesn't have patience for sorting. So I would not have, I definitely did not take the time to sort out all the rooftops beforehand. But yeah, that's one of the fun things about watching other people puzzling, is seeing how other people attack the puzzle. Yes. So...
Yeah, I think each of those roof sections are probably about 40 to 50 pieces for some of the some of the more square like roofs. And so it can look really attractive because it's a consistent texture that sticks out, but it can also be a little bit of a trap, because that's a lot of very samey piece that you might have to brute force a little bit once you get into the shape of it, in towards the middle bits of it. So that can be a little tricky for some people. And I'm not surprised, Michelle, to hear that you were saying that the text sticks out to you. And that's the thing that sticks out to a lot of puzzlers, is what is something that's really distinct inside of here. Early on, a lot of the 1,000-piece speed puzzlers are going to go for those bigger sections because you can decrease the noise in the pile a little bit more. But I think that that some of that text is going to start jumping out to people and really making its presence known here after some of those roofs go in.
Yeah, I think here, because the text is so distinct and they have different colors, like some have a white background, some have a darker background, and it's nice blocky text as well. It's not like, fancy script where it just all blends in together. So it's like, oh, this is an O, this is a B and an O, or it must belong to books, or a C and a Y that belongs to bicycles. So I'm like, when I know what it is, I want to place it where it belongs. So that's just what always grabs me. So here it's interesting. We can now finally see some bicycles. We have, on screen right now, we've got Lily from Germany, Linda W. from the Netherlands, Lindsay from the UK, Lisa from Denmark, Lynn from Belgium, and Maya from Finland. And I like, you can see on Linda W. how she's got this, the top left bicycle shop. Pretty much done, just, finishing off a few parts of the corner. And also Lisa and Lindsay also have those bicycles pretty much done.
Yeah, it's those bicycles are really fun because it's a nice pattern change that you can see from with this like thin white lines on top of with the black background, and people approach those circle kinds of pattern in a puzzle differently. So a lot of times it's easiest to start in the center and then work your way out, or start on the outside and work your way in. I think with something like this, the texture is going to be much clearer in the middle where you have a high density of those white lines. So starting in the middle and then branching out, radiating away, sunbursting as it were, to get the rest of it is a really, really slick way. And I think several of them did that. You can see Lily in the upper left-hand corner has that full border built out and is trying to do the rest of those blues, trying to get those roofs in as quickly as possible. Really, really slick. And I'm excited to see how they get on. Linda W., did a great job getting that bicycle in, and they also went for the lettering early on. And you can see that they made those pulls, and sometimes that lettering can be a little tricky whenever it's not all on one piece. If whenever the letters get split over more than two pieces, it can be tricky to line them up, especially if the font's all the same. But Linda W. there is doing a great job getting on with that. Lindsay in the upper right-hand corner almost has that green building, that bike shop wrapped up here, and you can see that they've made several additional piles off to the side that they're going to be able to zipper through pretty rapidly. Lisa in the lower left-hand corner, has two different lines of roofs, kind of did all of the blue ones together, and then went back and is starting to work on those buildings. I always get excited whenever puzzlers don't necessarily get super hung up on perfect placement early on, as long as they're getting pieces in. And it's a matter of what strategy works best for you. Some puzzlers really want that clean field and want to be as precise early on as possible, and that works very, very well for them. Other puzzlers, if you know that you're going to be doing things in big chunks, hopping around works really well, and you can see that they're doing great there. Lynn in the lower middle has several of those roof buildings already lined up and have started branching down into the rest of the puzzle. You can see that they're working on that bike, that green building bike section right now, and they're getting that lettering done very quickly, like you were saying, Michelle. And I think they were using that boundary between the where the sign of the word is and that green bottom to really use that line work early and the lettering on top of it to finish it up. Really, really well done. And Maya in the lower right-hand corner has lined up several of those buildings, has a lot of that roof work already worked out. They've branched down from that pink and that blue and pink background, has the bakery sign in. That one looks particularly tricky, but they've already knocked it out, which is really impressive. And they have several of the other building outlines ready to roll and are going to start placing things in pretty rapidly.
Yeah, I just want to do a shout out to Isa because I've just read the comment, and Isa's goal was to puzzle every day and manage that, but just barely. So puzzling for 365 days in a row is quite an amazing achievement. And yeah, so maybe some people want to think about that. Day 4 puzzles. See how far you can get.
Yeah. Even if it's just 100-piece puzzle, that counts.
True, it could just be a 100-piece puzzle. It doesn't say you have to be a 500 or a 1,000-piece puzzle. I know there are some people who have done significant amount of puzzle pieces every day, but some puzzling is better than no puzzling.
Yeah, I had a coach once that told me anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. So even if you do only the smallest amount of a thing rather than like the perfect ideal version, you're still doing the thing, and that counts.
That's something good to keep in mind. Yeah, here on screen now we have Maria from Finland. So that's Maria H from Finland, then Maria TB from Sweden, Marina from Sweden, Sweden, I said Sweden, Sweden, Melly from Switzerland, Mooney from Germany, and Nadia from Indonesia. And yeah, I just saw also that Nadia has signed up for Speed Puzzle, the Speed Puzzle World Series, as so far the sole Indonesian participant. So for those who are not familiar with that, that's a new competition that's being held in Munich in May this year. For the people who are subscribed to the newsletter, they could already start ordering tickets yesterday. And yeah, that's going to have 6 challenges and is a solo competition. So that's speedpuzzle.com if you want to check out that new competition happening in Germany in May.
Yeah, it should be an exciting time, and congratulations on being the first Indonesian to sign up. And I'm sure there's going to be many, many more. A lot of people going to the World Series are also participants today in this competition, and that just shows how exciting the Euro Jigsaw Jam is for people, because they often use this as competition, like practice and training grounds, on top of just getting to compete with a lot of the other best in the world puzzlers. And what a great way to start off the year here. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, Maria. So so much for that initial goal of not butchering names. We'll get there eventually, team. It's all one day at a time. But Maria is doing a great job. Has those roof outlines, is done some of the border as well, and getting those just white pieces in helps lower the noise of the pile a little bit, and it's really cool. You can see that they're doing the outline of some of that building, which is really, really smart, trying to get those pinks worked out. In the upper middle there, Maria TV has a lot of has that pink and blue roof and a lot of the bakery word font already lined up. They have several other little sections already worked out, and it's just going to be a grind to get some more of that in there. Getting through that 1,000-piece pile to find what you want gets more and more difficult as time goes on, because that fatigue really starts setting in and all those pieces start looking the same. So having space to spread those pieces out, sometimes it can look like it's physically slower. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, Marina A is doing a really cool thing where the pieces are spread out over more of the puzzle, but it makes it a little easier to see where one piece ends and one piece begins. There's always these trade-offs in puzzling, and sometimes that little bit of space as a trade-off for being a little bit slower to get one piece over to where you want it is a fair trade, because then you can get to the assembly a little bit quicker. You can see in the lower left-hand corner, Melly has a lot of those roofs, but you can see close to the screen there has several squirrel piles of sorting already worked out, with those blues and dark reds that they're going to be able to zipper through pretty quickly. It doesn't look like they have a ton of space that they're working with where they're at. It's much more tall than it is wide, and that can sometimes be awkward for puzzlers, but they are making it work, and they're doing an excellent job as we're coming up on the 46-minute line of this 1,000-piece solo competition. Doing a 1,000-piece solo in general is absolute madness. Doing it for speed is absurdity. So the fact that you're doing both at the same time here is really, really impressive, and a great way to kick off the year. Mooney in the lower middle here. It looks like there might be wrapping paper on the table, or at least patterned, which is really, really cool. But they have lined out several of those buildings, have a lot of roofs done, and they have lots of little chunks, and it will make the later part of the fill-in go pretty quickly. It looks like they're also working directly out of the box rather than doing the traditional big dump and flip all at once. They're pulling a piece out, checking where it goes, and dropping it. So it looks like this really wild scatter shot of fill in. But then as this continues, it's going to rapidly fill in very, very quickly because they already have things lined out really well. I love that use of Dead Reckoning here. And this is a great puzzle to do it on because there's not a ton of gradient you can get lost in. And as long as you're really accurate early, it makes your life way faster throughout. And the lower right, you can see Nadia doing a great job finishing up those bicycles, working one building at a time here. And this is really going to fly. Everybody's doing such a great job here in this solo 1,000 competition using this happily puzzle. The puzzle is called Shops. And all of these puzzlers are making a workshop of this particular puzzle and going really fast.
Yeah, I just want to mention Marina's answer to the question about her puzzling goals for 2025. So she achieved both of her goals. One of them was to finish the Swedish Nationals under 90 minutes. And so she did that. So she was really happy with that. And also she broke the 60-minute mark on 20 different puzzles, 6 of them on a first attempt. So she says, I'm really happy to have reached these goals, but I also feel like I still have so much to learn. I'm excited to see what new challenges and goals 2026 will bring. And Nadia says that her goals were to reach semifinals at Worlds and be out of the 50 plus club before the end of the year. I'm glad I achieved both. So
congratulations. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, really great to hear. So congrats, Marina and Nadia. We also have with us Nora from Finland, Patrick from Switzerland, Rachel from United Kingdom, Rebecca from Austria, Rika from Denmark, and Robert from Sweden. And yeah, I really like the top-down view from Patrick, and he's got all 8 rooftops in place and joined from the left to the right. So yeah, a nice composition there, nice stable composition there.
Yeah, I always like it whenever puzzlers are able to get a solid line through the middle, so that way they can work the shape both from the bottom to the middle and then from the middle to the top, or left to right. The more you can outline a section, the easier it makes your life because it lowers the degrees of freedom or the number of options that you could possibly have. My partner Mari often says that speed puzzling is a bit of a misnomer, and we should really be calling it efficiency puzzling. So everything that you can do to make those little tweaks to give you micro advantages to lower the probability of picking up a wrong piece and getting it in a wrong spot and just being as accurate as possible gives those wins. And you can see Patrick doing a really, really great job here, being accurate early on and setting himself up for success. Nura in the upper left-hand corner, you can see that they're trying to use a similar tactic. They have, it looks like they have that full top border, and they're now going back through and getting the rest of the roof lined up. Next to that pink and purple, that pink and blue rooftop, there's this pink roof that has this kind of fuzzy brown background, and that can look an awful lot like the other pink roof unless you're right on top of it. So I'm not surprised that a lot of puzzlers kind of saved those pink ones for last, because those probably look the most similar out of all of the roofs. That or the orange one, since that's pretty large in size. So they're doing an excellent job. You can see in the upper right hand corner, Rachel Chambers, one of the top UK puzzlers. She has that full border outline. She's done that line of roofs that's connected through the middle, and you can see that they've also already worked out that bicycle shop window with that black ground and the bicycles in through the middle. And they've also done several of the words, the signposts as well, which is going to just keep expanding down their zone of knowledge, letting them zip through a lot of this puzzle. They're doing a fantastic job here. Lower left-hand corner, Rebecca doing a fantastic job as well. You can see that they've done lots of little chunks of sorts, and they've kind of placed where they think the pieces are going to live inside of those buildings, and then they're going to zipper it up. So it looks like one of those kind of distorted images where things are broken up, but those pieces are clearly placed where those buildings are going to live, and you can see that that sort is going to suit them really well as they continue on.
Yeah, I'd just like to comment on something that SJ says. So she says, just regarding in response to your comment about doing something, poorly or not perfectly is better than not doing it at all. And she said it all counts towards 10,000 hours. So that reminds me of a book that I read about 15 years ago, and I probably should read it again. I really enjoyed it. It's called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And he basically studied success stories, and especially stories that look like they were overnight successes or just like, yeah, lucky chances, or these things that kind of come out of the blue. And then one of the things that he studied was that basically if you do anything for 10,000 hours, you become an expert on it. You're going to be amazing. So I wonder if SJ is specifically referring to that book, or if it's a common knowledge thing, but that's what it reminded me of. And I was also thinking about, I mean, we also hear of that in puzzling, like the opposite of like someone who's like, oh, I haven't done a puzzle for 20 years, and then suddenly like they're like doing really well. So there's always the like the outlier, you could say, but in general, the majority of the time, it's like if you do something for enough hours, whether it's puzzling or knitting or cooking or any type of sport, you're going to get good at it if you do 10,000 hours. So
it gives you a really strong base to work off of, right? Like sort of like what you're saying, Michelle. A lot of the like top puzzlers in the world, they weren't speed puzzling from a young age for years and years and kind of fell into this. They were doing a lot of different puzzles. They were doing giant puzzles regularly at a slow pace, but they've been doing it for years and years, and then just found out about speed puzzling and went, oh, let me turn on the boosters and do this quickly. So there was a foundation of experience, knowledge that was already there that they could then harness and really use to their advantage. And yeah, the 10,000 hours is a fun zeitgeist meme of time to reach expertise. And as long as you're doing your best level work on it and learning as much as you can, it's going to make you better and better at the things that you want to do, which is really cool.
Yeah, and also I just want to point out, if you're using myspeedpuzzling.com, you can also see how many hours of puzzling you did in 2025. And some of you have like 400 or 500 hours of puzzling, and you might think, wow, that was so much puzzling. How am I ever going to get to 10,000? Just keep in mind that
you don't do 10,000 in a month, right? Like it's over a long period of time.
It's over years. But also, myspeedpuzzling.com doesn't record you don't record your times if you do a puzzle casually. And I'm pretty sure for that people are spending many hours doing casual puzzles, because I also did added a whole bunch of 1,000 piece puzzles to my casual puzzling. I'm like, yep, relax, and I know I spent like 4 hours probably for each of those puzzles, but it doesn't record it. It doesn't add that to your time. So your casual time is probably a lot higher. And in addition to that, things like 99 piece puzzles, which you might just do for fun, or maybe puzzling with your kids or puzzling with grandma where you don't even think about it, that all counts to your puzzling experience. And I'm wondering if watching other people puzzle also adds to the 10,000 hours. So
well, I can as somebody who watches a lot of puzzling, I can say that it certainly helps your base knowledge of information. And it certainly gives you a lot of tactical information. You can learn a lot of things by watching, but you once you actually get into the pieces, there's a whole nother layer of execution that you have to learn. And I do recommend everybody, record yourself if you want to improve, see what you're doing, see those ticks, so that way you can make those adjustments as you go through, and you'll absolutely learn a ton. But you also want to actually spend time on the table. And that's one of the things that I don't currently do a lot of. I have a lot of theory, but not necessarily a lot of experimental practice. But you can see that the puzzlers here are doing the experiment in time. Romina in the upper left-hand corner has that outline worked out. And you can see that they've pulled a lot of their border off to the side and are going to come back to it later. They are cruising right now. Sabina doing an excellent job as well. I really like how they're working sort of at this oblong angle to do the roofs, and you can see it's because of the way that they're turning. And that's one of those things that you see the more you watch the fun little idiosyncrasies. Instead of building those roofs along a line, they built it from the direction that they turn as they're sitting, which is really cool. In the upper right hand corner, Sandra doing a great job getting the pink roofs in. They've also done the blues. Doing groups of similar colors kind of help fixate your eyes on what you want to work on. So if you knock one, blue appearing roof down, you can then see the next one a little bit easier because your eyes are kind of tuned into that shade. Santa in the lower left-hand corner has that almost the full border complete, but they also have that green background bicycle building almost fully worked out. They've done the wheels. They just have a little bit of fill in to work through there. There's sunbursting down from the top to get that pink roof going into the patisserie building to get those lined out. There's a lot of duplication of pattern inside of inside of that building, where the very bottom has this yellow and blue and pink. There's sort of like yellow circle with very large pink dots split on either side of the doorway. So shying away from that can make sense whenever it's something that's a little split, but I don't think it's as spooky as some puzzlers may think early on. But you can see Santa in the lower middle there has that full border, is doing a really great job here. You can see that they're lining up several of those roofs across the middle, so that way they can start sandwiching in from either side, sort of boxing things in as best they can. They have a lot of that bicycle roof done, or the bicycle building worked out, and they're hopping from one side to the other. And Sarah in the lower right-hand corner, you can see that they're using that puzzle board to make a big hole in the pile and then deliver that board where it's going to live. I love it whenever puzzlers can get the pieces off the board quickly if they're not going to assemble it, so that way it's where it's going to live and they can start working on it right away.
Yeah, so we're at the S's now. We're almost towards the end of the alphabet, so I'm gonna keep moving because the fastest time we've had so far on a Solo 1000 was around 1 hour 15, 1 hour 17. We're coming up to 59 minutes, so maybe we could see the first finish in the next 15 minutes or so. So yeah, on screen right now we have Saka from Czech Republic, Simona from Germany, Siv from Denmark, and this is Siv's first 1000 solo competition, so good on you, Siv. We also have Sol from Denmark, Stefan from Switzerland, and Susanna from Germany.
Oh wow! And you can see here as we're closing in on the hour line, all of these puzzlers are doing a fantastic job. I was saying it earlier. Doing a 1,000-piece puzzle as just soloist in general is wild, and you can see Sarka is doing a wild job of getting this together. They've made that full border outline. They have the roofs across the middle lined up, and now they're going back in and they're doing the line work between each of the buildings, so that way they can use that outline to do shape work in through the middle. That's a really, really cool tactic, and I always recommend, whenever you're not sure what to do, try to outline things. Because those boundary lines and colors and textures can give you the information to get stuff in. But they've done a really good job of that. They also have a pretty decent fill in with the ice cream building because there's this pink doorway and then this like confetti bottom. And so they've made this grouping of smaller chunks of texture inside of there that is giving them some really good progress. So well done there, Sarka. You're doing excellent. Simone in the upper middle also done that full border, that line of roofs across the middle, and they're now going to have to make a pretty big decision on what tactic do they want to use next now that these chunks are done, and I'm excited to see which way they go. Siv, congrats on your first EJJ. Doing a great job so far getting everything lined out. You are flying right now. We can see Stefan in the lower left-hand corner flying through that pink roof, getting the rest of it worked out, and then is going to move on into some of those yellows. And you can see Suzanne in the lower right hand. A lot of those buildings are kind of floating around, but they're floating in the sense of those are projects that they're going to be able to work on. And you can see that they're being real diligent and careful of getting the rest of it worked out.
Yeah, and regarding the piece cut from Happily, it sticks together really well. So if there's ever a brand where you have you attack the pieces and assemble them in a different arrangement, it's absolutely no problem with Happily to basically just pick up the whole piece and plop it down and then rearrange it later. So even though Susanna's is not at the moment, it doesn't look at the moment where it should be, like the bicycle's off to the right and all that, that's no problem. Once she's filled out a bit more, it's very easy to rearrange. They're not going to fall apart.
Yeah.
So we're just going to move on because we still have a couple of fast puzzles towards the end of the alphabet, a specific one starting with W, so we want to get to them soon. Right now we have Svetlana. I can't see, I don't know if Svetlana has registered on the website, maybe under another name. Then we have Tammy. Yeah, so if you haven't registered on the website, then just write down in the chat. We have Tammy from the USA, Teo from Finland, Tobias from Sweden, Tuli from Finland, and Una from Latvia.
And everybody's doing a great job here. Svetlana has that almost that full border and a lot of the roof work done. I think they're taking a quick moment to send a note about signing up. That's a-okay. We'll get you squared away. Tammy in the upper middle here, another one of those USA puzzlers that is up at dark 30 in the morning. I think it's they started at 1 a.m. their time or so, plus or minus a few hours. So doing a really good job. You can see those outlines coming together really quickly. Taya looks like they went for a full border early on and are now filling in sort of left to right those shops, which is really really neat and clever in order to work out. Tobias, I have my Tobias's #1 fan hat and I wear it around and everybody goes, "Hey, who's Tobias?" And I'm like, "You would not believe this dude. He is a fantastic puzzler. I am his biggest fan, as the hat would suggest." And he does this fantastic pick and place style. You can see that he uses his left hand to toss pieces to his right, and then he zaps it down exactly where it's going to go. Those buildings are lined up wonderfully, and it's now just going to be a fill-in game for him. You can see that he's using that 7 shape for the pieces, where there's some off to the right-hand side and then some floating up towards the top. But he's doing these little sorts as he goes, where if he's not sure where it's going to live, he makes it in a small group off to the side, sort of like puzzle jail for people. And I just adore watching Tobias's puzzling. It's really, really fantastic. Truly, in the lower middle there, you can see that they made a great grouping of yellow pieces and trying to get some of those doorways knocked out from several of the buildings in one go. I really like that tactic of, even though it's not all in one place, doing a group of pieces that are similar and knocking them out wherever they live is really, really slick. And Una in the lower right-hand side, using a puzzle, it looks like a giant puzzle tray for the build field, and then they're using the table as the sorting area. The space management on these thousands is really difficult, and they're doing a great job navigating that in not ideal circumstances. But look at the progress that they're making while having to literally move their table from one side to the other in order to get pieces. That is wildly impressive.
Yeah, so we have reached the end of the alphabet. So that was Svetlana, that was Lana H from United States. So we are now at the very end of the puzzles. We have Vanya from Slovenia, Veronica from Slovakia, Wendy from United States, Victor from Poland, and Zach from the United Kingdom. And yeah, first glimpse of Victor, looking really fantastic here. Border is done, all the rooftops, and most of the signs as well. Filling in the gaps now at this stage. We are at 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, for those of you saying that you wouldn't be sure about a big sort up front, I will say I was keeping tabs on Victor off to the side, and he did a pretty hefty sort early on. I don't think he actually started doing assembly until maybe about 12 minutes in or so, but he was pretty active on his sort, getting all of the roof groupings lined up, and then went back through and zippered them together along with several of the word groupings as well. So sorting works, folks, if you're committed to it. As we cross the hour and 6 line, you can see Vanya in the upper left hand corner. has a lot of those roofs and words lined up. It's a really well done, and it looks like is that doubled? I think they have double roof. They do have double roof. Wow. I think Vanya has a double puzzle going on
Oh,
here.
wow. Yes, now I see it. She's got bicycles twice and patisserie twice.
Yeah,
Okay, manufacturing error there.
yeah, that's the kind of thing that can really trip a puzzler up, and we're sorry that's happened to you, Vanya. That's pretty wacky. It looks like they have two. I'm looking at their pile, and I can see almost certainly they have two whole sections of bicycle that's going to be in that pile right now.
But I think
So
just based on the number of pieces, I don't think that looks like the right number of pieces in the pile. I would be very
yeah,
interested to
that's a
see.
little wacky.
Yeah. Just do okay. Sometimes crazy things like that happen. Vanya, just do your best and we'll figure something out after the competition. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of green, so
Yeah.
but okay, we will see. All right, so let's
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
there's a fun thing in puzzle manufacturing. They talk about what the error rate is, and even if that error rate is like is like 0.05% of all puzzles, that still means that every once in a while there's going to be a puzzle that comes out a little funky, no matter how accurate the entire process is. So the fact that so many puzzles in the Euro Jigsaw Jams tend to have all the pieces and tend to be just fine is really impressive, and it just goes to show how many people participate, that statistically eventually somebody's going to get something a little weird, and Vanya's doing a great job. You can see Veronica on the upper right hand side has done a great job outlining a lot of these shops, and they're flying right now, getting a lot of the rest of that worked out. But Victor here is coming in towards the close. I think he has maybe about probably about 120 pieces or so, maybe closer to 100 left, um, floating around. He is moving really quick here, and he's going to be able to use a lot of shape work in order to wrap this up. The things that he has remaining are where there's duplications of color, where there's a lot of like orange, or where it's very finicky. We know that Victor doesn't always enjoy super busy puzzles, especially whenever there's nicer line work that he can work on. But Victor is doing a really good job, and Inga is hanging in there with him. I almost wonder if they are going to be able to go neck and neck here, coming into the close. That is really tight. Alejandro, he's doing excellent. You can see that he has that full border and several buildings already worked out. I think he has maybe about 200 pieces or so, but he is flying, and we know that Alejandro is one of the fastest closes in the world. Kati is doing an excellent job as well. This is going to be really tight coming into the close here. We can see Kiara has done a fantastic job, has the full outline of several of the shops. The ones that are remaining seem to be the ones mostly on the right-hand side, where it's like the florist or the birthday shop, where there's these details in the middle that are going to be a little tricky. Saving those for last is a really smart move by these puzzlers in order to make sure that they have space. And Lenka's doing a fantastic job as well. This is going to come down to the wire for some of these puzzlers. I think Inga and Victor are very much the closest right now, but Kiara is so good at doing that finicky detail that she can make a lot of progress very quickly. But look at Inga and Victor go. I think Inga knows that victory is within sight, and she is moving so quickly right now.
Yeah, just in response to the comment about manufacturing areas, we've seen a lot, but considering we have done thousands and thousands, I mean tens of thousands of puzzles in the EJJ, we've kind of seen a lot. We had one time somebody had 123 extra pieces. We also had another time when somebody had the box but the wrong puzzle in it. And missing pieces and duplicates. Inga once had a puzzle she had multiple pieces doubled and even one time tripled, and then patches that were completely missing. So it does happen, but yeah, as you say, Jim, it's like 0.01%. It's just because we're using masses and masses of puzzles.
Yeah, it's just large number theory. Eventually, you'll see it all whenever you're doing the amount of puzzles that we see at the Euro Jigsaw Jams. but look at this finish that's coming up. Victor is doing an excellent job here, but Inga has made a huge leap in progress. You can see that she is just flying through this end. It's almost like she knows exactly where the pieces she wants to go on in order to wrap this up. And this is where that active memory that a lot of puzzlers are working on is coming into play, where you know what you want and where it is in the pile, and then you're able to make these quick swoops of pieces to sink them in. Everybody's doing a great job here. You can see that Veronica is also coming in on the close. Amelia P. Is down to just the center of some of these shots. Lenka is doing a great job as well. You can see that Lenka is using the area below her puzzle as a little bit of a puzzle jail in order to sink things in. But I think this is really going to come down to Inga and Victor to try to wrap this up here. I think Inga has done more of the outlines of things and has a little bit of better islands in through the middle, and so she's getting these quick handfuls and sinking in just 3 pieces at a pass. She's almost at the point of no ambiguity, where anything she picks up can go in. There's not going to be anything floating in the middle that she can get stuck on. Whereas Victor, I think in that lower left-hand corner, I think that ice cream zone, there's a little bit of a gap, so there can be a slightly higher level of uncertainty inside of there. But he's doing some great fill-in. You can see that as we're coming up here on the hour and 13-minute line, they are all flying. Doing a puzzle this fast is absolutely crazy, and these puzzlers are doing an amazing job in order to keep up on this.
Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting at this stage, and I think Inga has the piece advantage over Victor at this stage. I mean, the puzzles are being worked in opposite directions, but it just feels like the patches on Inga's puzzle, it's more like each puzzle has like one hole, whereas on Victor's, it's like scattered all around. However, he has many single piece holes. Yeah, so it's really interesting to see how that will play out. But yeah, looking really good, Inga and Victor. We also... Yeah, so, and then it looks like it will be a few minute gap between Inga and Victor, and then the next wave of puzzlers like Alejandro, Lenka, Emilia, and Veronica. But yeah, let's just check who else might be in the running for a top 10. Let's check out Tobias and Rachel. Some of the other top puzzlers, Patrick. And yeah, Rachel's also looking really good here, has got the whole border done, and yeah, top to bottom joined, left to right joined. So now she's just at the stage of filling in the middle pieces. And if we look at Tobias, his looks a bit more shifty, I think, because yeah, it's hard to tell. He's got a white border on a white background. So I can't tell if he's got the border done or not, but looking really good at this stage.
Take a zoom in here. He has a lot of that border already worked out. There's a lot of border at the top that's already lined out, and those sides aren't very thick. So I think Tobias has that full border. He usually does end up working that out because of the way that he does his pick and place. So he is flying right now. This is going to be really, really tight, and just massively impressive how many of these puzzlers are using similar tactics, but not necessarily in the same order, right? Like we've seen a lot of puzzlers break those roof groups down, but not necessarily all doing just the brown roof or just that pink and blue. We saw several of them go for that orange or go for that blue with the red and white stripes, and then work their way up from there. So using we often talk about what the optimal route is. Sometimes the optimal route is just what the thing is, but not necessarily in that same exact order, right? Like if you do the brown roof before the pink and blue, it may not necessarily make a difference. But we can see that the work that Inga's been doing on just getting the physicality rolling is really paying off for her here. She is making excellent progress and is just flying. I think she's down to maybe about 25 or 30 pieces or so. And I think that Victor's not too far behind her. It's going to be really, really tight. You can see that I really like how you can see both of Inga's wrists tend to stay face down rather than doing this extra rotation coming back up. A lot of puzzlers, we call it like swallowing the pieces, where they pick up pieces and then they rotate their hand and then they have to unrotate it again in order to get pieces in. She is being very, very consistent right now and just typewritering these pieces in. One picks up, it sinks right in wherever it's going to live. She is rapidly approaching this close. She's down to maybe about 15 pieces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, she has about 15 pieces remaining and it's just flying in. Victor is doing a great catch up right now. He knows he's coming in on the close. Are these puzzlers going to be able to keep this under the hour 20 line? I am confident on that one right now. They are flying, coming into the end.
Go on, come Inga, you can do it. So close. Just 10 more pieces going.
Great job. just keep on pushing. We just get those last ones in. There's no ambiguity. Anything she picks up can go in. You can see the excitement. There's a little bit of a shake inside of her hand. You can see that hand rotation is starting to come in. She's down to the last 7 pieces or so. I think she's going to be able to pull off first. Here, just got to get those last ones in. That fatigue is setting in. You are flying right now. There's only 3 pieces remaining to get those last ones in. And Inga hits the buzzer. Congratulations on a first place finish in the first solo 1,000 puzzle of the EJJ of 2026.
Well done, Inga. 1 hour, 17 minutes, 23 seconds for 1,000 pieces. Brilliant. And coming up behind her is Victor, doing fantastic, Victor. We also have Rachel, Kati, Lenka, and Alejandro doing fantastic. And yeah, so another fantastic time for 1,000 pieces.
Quite frankly, that is a silly time. That is a silly time for silly people, because being able to do I want you to think about how fast some of the fastest folks do a 500-piece puzzle, right? You have people that are able to do those 500-piece puzzles in under 35 minutes or so. This is doing twice that in almost the same amount of time, and it's exponentially more difficult to do a 1,000-piece puzzle than a 500-piece puzzle for a whole bunch of reasons.
Okay, I just want to take a look at Alejandro. He looks like he has way too many pieces for the amount of holes that he has left. I see that at the bottom left of his table, he's got more green pieces pulled out. Possibly he has extra pieces which belong to Vanya's extra puzzle.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
I mean, look at his progress. He's very similar to the progress of Lenka, but he has significantly more pieces. That's
a good point. That might be where the overlatch punch comes in. We know Alejandro does a lot of traveling. I wonder if those two are going to be able to meet up at some point and join forces to make the one puzzle. We'll see how it gets on. Victor is coming into the close here. You can see Lenka doing a fantastic job here as well with the fill-in. Kati doing some excellent catch up. You can see that there's some. Kati is doing more outlining and then filling in sort of that boxing in tactic to wrap things up as quickly as they can. But this is really, really exciting coming into the close. You can see Victor has really one chunk of a shop that's left, that lower left-hand corner, that arts and crafts. And it makes sense because that particular section has a lot of finicky tidbits that look very samey. So if you can avoid that and get the other chunks that are a little more distinct down, you're going to go through and do that. And Victor's doing a great job bouncing around from project to project to square those up. We're getting ready here to cross the hour and 20-minute line here, which is amazing times. This isn't a super easy puzzle by any stretch because of some of the duplication, because of the size of some of those areas, and being able to get a 1,000-piece puzzle down in even close to an hour and a half is wildly impressive, and everybody's doing a great job. You can see that Victor is trying to search through the pile and get those little pot shots off. He's trying to do cleanups of these other sections to wrap up. You can look down at Lenka. She is down to just those pieces that she's put in the puzzle jail below the build field here. And every time she reaches into that pile, she can sink something up in the top. You can see that there's a couple of pieces over on the right-hand side that might be a little bit of a split pile. that can indicate a slowdown, but she's doing excellent. Rachel Chambers doing a great job. You can see a lot of those pieces over on the right-hand side, but she is accelerating into the finish here and really picking up the pace. Now that there's less uncertainty about what piece is what, she can use a lot more of the information about the shape of the piece or the context about what those background connections might be. There's a lot more cleanup pulls going on here for these puzzlers as they come into the close. You can see that Victor's down to maybe the last 10 pieces or so. Kati doing an excellent job filling in a lot of what's remaining. Veronica in the lower right-hand corner of your screen is trying to get down to those last middle bits, closing out. But Victor is down to the last 5. Is he going to be able to keep this under the 22, 23 minute line? I think he's going to be able to keep it under 23 for sure. 22 is going to be just out of reach, but he's doing an excellent job here. Just has that little bit of fill-in inside of the florist. I'm doing a check to see if he's left any pieces on top of the puzzle itself. We know that he likes being able to slide those pieces into the remaining holes. He's down to those last 4. Is he going to be able to get them in under that 23 line? We're coming up on 22:15. Come on, just keep on moving. We know that fatigue is setting in for everyone right now. Just got to keep that gas going just a little while longer. That end is in sight for these puzzlers, and then they're going to be able to go take a nap, enjoy the rest of their Sunday. There's just those last couple of pieces you got to get in, and then you can move on with things. And Victor hits the buzzer. Congratulations on a very strong second place in this EJJ Solo 1000.
Fantastic, Victor. 1 hour, 22 minutes, 34 seconds. So that's a 5-minute gap between Inga and Victor. So 3rd place and top 10 still up for grabs. Could be Rachel, Kati, Lenka, Alejandro, Veronica, and a few others. Let's check in.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people all fighting for these top spots. I know a lot of folks are choosing this year to be the year that they really dive deep into speed puzzling and make a strong push. And what a great way to kick off the year by putting up a fantastic time on these puzzles early on. Lenka's doing a great job with the rest of this fill-in. She's accelerating into the back half of this. There's less uncertainty at this stage. You can see that she's also left that ice cream shop in the lower left-hand corner as the last chunk that she's going to work on. The florist is knocked out. That the lower right-hand corner, that birthday shop is filled in. So Lenka's doing a great job to fill the rest of this out. Kati has a lot of the lower right-hand corner worked out. I think it's a little darker with the lighting where Kati is, and that might be playing tricks with how she's seeing pieces. You can see a lot of those pieces are really, really closely clustered, and it might be difficult to see where one piece starts and another ends, but she's doing a fantastic job here. Lenka coming in on maybe the last 10 pieces or so, all in that lower left-hand corner. Is she going to be able to stay ahead of the field here and lock in a 3rd place? Veronica doing a great job. You can see those pieces scattered all around the rest of the build field, but she is able to laser-like precision move to where those pieces are and then drop them in where they're going. She is doing a fantastic job here. Alejandro in the corner there. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of extra pieces there, but he is doing excellent despite the extra uncertainty inside of which pieces are which. It shows you why he is such a strong puzzler and just one of the world champions right now. Lenka coming in on the last 5 pieces, getting that rotation done. She only has shape work remaining. Is she going to be able to keep this under the hour and 25-minute line? It's going to be so close. Can she do it? She hits the buzzer. I think she hit the cutoff.
Well done, Lenka. 3rd place. Congratulations.
Very, very well done.
That's our podium. Inga, Victor, and Lenka. Lenka was at 1 hour and 24 minutes. So just 2 minutes behind Victor. Well, some amazing times here today. And yeah, looking good for the next finishes. It looks like it's going to be a few minutes before the next finish. But Anna S. from the Netherlands, who I don't know anything about, but another fantastic puzzler from the Netherlands coming out of the woodwork, has got about 20-ish pieces left. Veronica from Slovakia is also looking really good here, about 30 pieces.
Wow.
And yeah, just still looks like Alejandro has maybe 20 more pieces than he should have.
It's going to be really tight. And as we come up on the like hour 26 line, the fatigue is setting in. Like it's wildly difficult to stay focused, like laser focused for 15 minutes, let alone for an hour 15, let alone stay laser focused and hop around and juggle your physicality and your breathing and everything else at this pace. Being able to get a puzzle done in under a 1,000-piece puzzle as a speed puzzle soloist in under 2 hours is wildly fantastic. And this is just showing the world-class level of puzzlers that show up here at the Euro Jigsaw Jams, and just the community that's totally behind you right now as you keep on pushing. Every little thing gets magnified on a 1,000-piece puzzle. Every extra touch that you make on the pieces just adds up to your time. So even if there's a difference of like a minute or two, if you scale that down to a 500-piece puzzle, that's closer to like a 15-20 second difference rather than being this huge time marker. So this is really, really impressive how people are getting on. Anna S hits the buzzer. Congratulations. A fantastic finish for Anne. A dark horse in this grouping, but Anne is in the top 5 for this solo 1,000 puzzle. Congratulations, Anne.
Yeah, we
That was a
also have
fantastic close.
Yeah, fantastic, Anna, and we also have Amelia P. Doing really well there. Kati's at the point of Kati's just filling in little single gaps right now, and Alejandro has a couple of small patches in the birthday shop and arts and crafts to finish.
Yep, Alejandro putting up the privacy screen for the moment. He's just making an adjustment. I always enjoy watching Kati's close because she's so quick on it. You can see she just picks up 1-2 pieces and she's using both hands simultaneously in order to do this. A lot of puzzlers can only use one hand in order to put pieces in, or they'll use their left hand as a board and their right hand to sink pieces in. But Kati is using both hands to insert pieces at the exact same time, and it saves so much time, especially whenever there's no uncertainty at this stage and you can just use pure shape work. She's down to the last 5 pieces. It was amazing how much time she made up just in the last 15 seconds here. I really hope people go back and watch that. It's wildly impressive. She has caught up so much so quickly, and she's going to hit that buzzer, and she locks in a top 5 spot. Congratulations, Kati. Very, very well done.
Thank you, Kati. So Kati is not in the timer website, so that will be we'll have to check how we put that into the results, because Kati was not logged into the timer website, but it was around 1 hour 28 minutes. So that will skew the results a bit on the actual results website. Every now and then there is a result that doesn't show up, or a result is duplicated. So as much as this should be the final results, sometimes I have to adjust things after the event. But this is like 95% accurate. But yes, don't forget to log into the timer website. What I notice is that most people log into the timer website before they even come into the meeting. So try and get that into the habit. That way you don't forget to log in. Okay, but back to the action. It looks like Alejandro. Okay, so it
looks like
corrected.
Veronica is finishing out.
Oh, Veronica, and then Alejandro.
There it is. Veronica hits the buzzer. Congratulations.
Fantastic, Veronica, 5th place, and Alejandro. And it looks like I was just wrong. It was the correct. Alejandro had the correct number of pieces, but it was just a funny angle, and somehow, somehow it looked. Yeah, I'm lost for words. How do you describe it? How do you
angles and sight lines do funny things. It's one of the reasons that sometimes I'll tell puzzlers, if you're not entirely sure you're not seeing something, sometimes all you got to do is stand up, because changing the angle at which you're looking at the pieces can sometimes shift what the glare looks like, or sometimes change the way that you're seeing the colors, or even just what the textures look like. That little shift in angle can often be enough where you're suddenly seeing things in just a different light that gives you a little bit of an edge. So the angle we were at might have been a little awkward, but Alejandro did an absolutely amazing job. Congratulations to you on a fantastic finish. on this solo puzzle. It was so cool to watch you do the thing. And we are still looking for the rest of our top 10 in this puzzle. In this puzzle, we can see Kiara doing a fantastic job here, getting ready to close this out. Amelia P not too far behind. This is going to be really, really tight here. And everybody's got to be burning at this stage, just mentally and physically trying to keep pace. And this is where that little extra oomph, where you try to urge yourself on as much as you can in order to finish strong. Kiara only has little holes remaining, so just needs to accelerate a little bit more. I think there's maybe 5-6 pieces remaining, less than that. Start sinking them in. You can see she's using one piece as a plate and then sinking the rest in. I think there's 2 pieces remaining, but they may be missing. We'll see if she hits the buzzer here. But we just crossed the hour and 32 minute, or coming up on an hour 32 here. Yeah, and I think Kiara just has a couple of pieces that are stuck in a box or elsewhere. Amelia P coming up on the close as well. Has maybe 7 pieces remaining, is going to sink the rest of those in. This is a fantastic finish. Getting a 1,000-piece puzzle done in this kind of time frame is absolutely absurd to be able to keep this pace. And they're moving so fast right now to be able to close this out.
Oh, and Kiara,
wow.
well done, Kiara. So Kiara takes out 7th place, and Amelia P is just moments away.
And you can see Tobias in the lower left-hand corner here doing his pick and place, finishing up this puzzle very rapidly. Kiara with a strong finish earlier, and Amelia P closing this out, only has 3 pieces remaining. Can you just get those last ones in? We all believe in you. Or sorry, there's 4. Using that one hand as a plate to sink the last one in. Gets maybe just one more. Just got to get them in as quickly as you can. I know, we all know that your eyes are burning, your hands are burning, your heart's burning at this point. So getting that last little bit wrapped up is so hard. Sinks it in. Congrats, Amelia. Did Amelia hit the buzzer?
Yes, Amelia P
Okay.
coming at 9th. So last place is for 10th. And coming in for 10th could be Rachel, Tobias, Shaka, or Patrick. And yeah, as I look through the thumbnails of the smaller screens, we're seeing nice chunks, nice houses being built, nice rows of rooftops panned out there. So looking really fantastic. Everyone's doing great at 1.5 hours.
And what a way to wake up and smell the puzzle dust and just get your blood pumping doing a puzzle like this. You can see that everybody is working really hard to try to wrap this up as quickly as they can. Sarka has some more gaps inside of their puzzle. You can see that a lot of these puzzlers have all left that ice cream shop, that lower left-hand corner, for later. And I think that's a great call, because there's all of this confetti that's just kind of floating out between it that can be really, really difficult and sort of a magic eye. Tobias has little island chunks that are remaining throughout the rest of the puzzle. You can see that he has that spread of pieces almost in a full rainbow around the build field, and that can sometimes make it a little difficult to know which groups of pieces you want to grab and work on. But because Tobias does this pick and place tactic, he can kind of drop his hand wherever he wants, anywhere in the remainder of the pile, grab some pieces, and then sink them in very rapidly. You can see Rachel Chambers trying to finish up that right-hand side of the puzzle before moving on to the ice cream. She's trying to get the rest of the things that are certain knocked out and then move on to those more tricky chunks. So she's doing these cleanup pulls to try to wrap up everything else. She's trying to get that right-hand shop in, that birthday shop that has a little bit more balloons, ironically less confetti-like pieces on the birthday side than the ice cream side. You can see that she's going to do this big sweep here in a second after she finishes this up, to get all of those pieces over onto the ice cream side. Tobias doing a great job. You can see he's so methodical on how he checks which piece he wants to put in and then sinks it. Patrick Inninger, you can see that he's found this physicality, is going to try to accelerate into the back half here in order to get the rest of these buildings in. Looks like he's jumping from the patisserie and around a little bit, trying to get a small cluster of pieces that he knows exactly where they go to sink them in. This is where, whenever you know what is in your pile and where it is in your pile, those little micro advantages can add up. You can see that he's pulled a lot of those dark green or black pieces over to the left-hand side of his table, and they're sitting over there, and he's going to be able to sink it in, but he just did this great streak of pieces all in one go. Rachel Chambers just did a big sweep of pieces all the way over to the ice cream side, so that way they are right nearby where she's going to be working on the puzzle. It's going to save several laps of transfers. She's doing an excellent job. Sarka finishing up another big section. She has that ice cream shop remaining, and then a few gaps as well. Anna Roos coming into the close as well, also in that ice cream shop, and a few gaps around as well. This is going to be so tight. Who is going to be able to do that shape work, try to get those little additional lines out? We know that that adrenaline kicks in whenever you have those last 20 pieces or so, and it's hard to stay focused at this stage whenever we're already over the hour and 35-minute line. We're coming up on an hour 37. Are any of these puzzlers going to be able to keep this under an hour and 38? Driving the rest of this home. You can see Rachel checking a few pieces, trying to brute force this as quickly as she can. There's always this excitement where you try a piece in a couple of spots, and then you might set it off to the side as a puzzle jail, or it might reintegrate into the things that you've already sorted. Those little micro adjustments make such a difference here. She just got a huge line in, so now anything she touches can go in. The shape is clear. She's going to be able to wrap this up. Can she lock in the 10th place spot in this solo 1000 EJJ competition? Get those last two pieces in. Hit the buzzer. You can do it.
Go, Rachel.
Yes. Congratulations, Rachel.
And that's the 10th spot going to Rachel. Fantastic. 1,000 pieces solo. So I added Kati to the website, so she's in the results now. So to recap the top 10, we have Inga, Victor, Lenka, Anna S, Kati, Veronica, Alejandro, Chiara, Emilia, and Rachel. Fantastic. So I think this is a good opportunity to bring in our first place finisher for today. Inga, feel free to turn your mic and camera on. And yeah, everybody else, go, go, go. Everyone's doing really fantastic.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Inga.
Good morning. Congratulations. How does it feel to put up such a fantastic time?
I'm thrilled. I was so excited. I was listening to the commentary, and you were like rushing me, and then you were like, "Oh, she's shaking." It's like, yeah, that's your fault.
I apologize for the stress, but not for the encouragement. So I know that you have wildly fast times on solo thousands. So having another one that's in this like sub hour 20 is just rarefied air and really, really impressive. Have you seen this puzzle before?
No, not really. I know some of the other happily puzzles, and I figured it was going to be a happily, but I have never done this one before.
That's so cool, and I know you've done a lot of the happies, and they're just great puzzles to do for thousand soloists. So I'm stuttering because I'm still astounded at that fantastic time. Tell us a little bit about what you thought whenever you saw this come out of the box.
I mean, there's so many distinct parts that you can do. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, because I'm like sorting like little piles of like 4 pieces, but like half missing. They're like, oh, these look the same, and then I'm a chaotic puzzler, so it's just like, oh, I have 4 pieces from this rooftop, 3 pieces that I don't even know what it is, but they look the same, and so but yeah, I wanted to check whether I could start with the border, whether it would have too much white or not. But then I looked at this, I was like, yeah, I think I can do it, because then at least I know for the rooftops, like at the top, I would know when they end, right? Because sometimes you can get a bit confused. I was like, no, I'm going to start with the border. That took some time and takes up a lot of space. But at least I could do pick and place, because if I don't do the border, then I will have to shift everything around. So yeah, but it's fun. Yeah, so I did the rooftops and then some of the text, and then it was just chaos.
Well, I mean, it was chaos in your favor, which is really cool. Whenever you look at an image like this, I know you were trying to figure out should you do the border or not. And even us looking at it, I had the uncertainty of how far away is the white space of the edge in going into the building. How quickly did you make that discernment of, okay, the border is going to be a good idea, let me start pulling this so I can work on it?
So I was gonna pull it either way. So
Okay.
I was gonna pull it, and if they were just white, I would leave them off to the side and end with them. But then I looked at the pieces, and they're like half of them have color, so it's pretty decent. So then I was just like, okay, then I'll just do them. And then I had to, because I sorted them in my puzzling area, and I didn't sort them off to the side where I was going to put them. So then I had to. I couldn't change my mind anymore.
There's no better than there's no better encouragement than this must be done now.
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
it is time to solve my problems.
I prepped. I even brought out my tray so I could put the edge on the tray and then just leave it off to the side. But I didn't put the edge pieces on the tray, so.
And you didn't, and you which is really cool. I like how you were prepared for whatever scenario came across. You were saying that you were doing these like little clusters of like 4 pieces. For some people, like the letters of those signs jump out. I think you really started with some of the roof lines.
Yeah,
more
rooftops
than
first,
things. Yeah.
and then the text. Some of them, not all of them, stood out as much. Yeah, and then I sorted some of the bicycles because those were like the only black pieces. And oh yeah, you were saying that people are leaving the one in the bottom left for last, but that's like the sticker is on top of the building, so it's very hard
That would do it.
to use the blocks. But then, like, I was finishing with him, at some point I was like, "Oh, scissors! This is going to be arts and crafts." So
Gotcha. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, if they kind of Mike Wazowski part of the puzzle, then that's
yes,
gonna be where that makes a ton of sense. That's so cool that you saw the scissor and you immediately went, oh, this has to go in the arts and crafts section. I know a lot of puzzlers as they're working, they don't necessarily register what is in the image that they're working on. There's just this reflex of this is going here now, and this is like the abstract pattern. Did you recognize right away and sort of clock, oh, this building has all of these likely things in it? Like, is that part of the process that helps you hit these kinds of times?
yeah, and it helps. Like, you have the text, right? And if you do them early, then you've already read what kind of shops there are. So I'm like, oh, a flower, this will go with the florist. But you also have like, oh, this is a cake. But then there's cakes in the bakery, the patisserie, the birthday shop. And the ice cream kind of looks like cake as well. So the cake pieces were a bit harder.
Sorry, I just
so
need.
so you could have your cake and puzzle it too, maybe.
Yes.
Sorry, I just need to interrupt. You need to look at Vanya's puzzle. So she has done everything that she has, but she has an incomplete puzzle and an extra part. So, yeah, it's really bizarre. We're really sorry about that, Vanya. That's a manufacturing area, but thank you for doing the best, and we'll try and figure out a solution for you later. Obviously, that doesn't count because it's not 1,000 pieces, but we'll figure something out afterwards. Yeah, very sorry about that.
That is so. This is sort of like whenever a roller coaster does a rollback. Like, it's an unusual thing that happens every so often. So it's really cool to see. But yeah, sorry that happened, but well done on getting as much of it done as you could. SJ in the comments actually made an interesting point here. For a lot of puzzlers, if English isn't their like first language, or even if it's just written down, Sometimes that can throw people off. I know that if it's a language that's non-English and it's text, my brain doesn't know how to process it, and I try to like do it more as I try to treat it more as like abstract line work than trying to like figure out what the order of the letters is. Is that something you notice or think about, or is this just old hat?
So for English, it's fine, right? Because in the
Yeah.
Netherlands, you get exposed to English a lot, so that's fine. But I did another puzzle with text on it yesterday, and that one was different languages, and then some where you can still sort of discern what it's saying. It's okay, but then for other stuff, it's just like, okay, this is the letters that belong in that group, and then I'll just puzzle them based on shape and lines instead of the actual letters. Yeah, if it's really unfamiliar text, then it's just difficult to look at it like it's text.
No, that makes a ton of sense. Well, tell us a little bit about your. I was I know that your goal last year was to get into the solo finals of the world championships. Tell us a little bit about what it was like to hit the goal.
So I think my main goal was that I wanted to reach top 10 at Worlds somewhere. I was a bit disappointed that I was 7 seconds too slow for the solo top 10, but apparently I do that. I saw the EJJ double trouble flex that was the results were posted this week. I was also 7 seconds too slow, so I think that's my new new thing. But I mean, obviously we reached third place in both pairs and teams, and that was just more than we could have dreamed for. I think, yeah, like for teams as well, we knew we weren't gonna come in first, we weren't gonna come in second, so it was already like the highest possible place. And I mean, yeah, it was amazing. Like those are the kind of goals that are also kind of scary to say out loud, right? If you can say, oh, I want to finish top 10, that's that's like insane. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna jinx it if I say it out loud. But then
Well,
like
it's also a thing of having the confidence to say this is what I want to go for, right? Like to have the ambition of shooting that high is nerve-wracking, and I get that. Yeah.
yeah, I think we went for like, we had realistic goals and then the optimistic goals, right? So I think we had like different degrees of our goals. So like, oh, for me, for solo, I was like, yeah, top 30, top 20 should be possible, right? So, and then you start thinking, okay, where do I go from realistic to optimistic, and what's still within reach, right? I was never gonna become world champion. I'm not. There's so many amazing people. So then it would have to be like, I don't know, the perfect puzzle. So yeah, I'm happy. I think we reached most of our goals. I was a bit disappointed about European Championship. That one I just like to forget and pretend it didn't happen. And
everybody hits speed bumps.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but it's I'm happy to start the year off with this puzzle.
Well, I'm excited for you, and I know that 7 seconds on hitting a top 10 goal can feel really heart-wrenching, but it's also like, how cool is it that that's 7 seconds closer than anybody else was in that to that line. And it's also a thing where like that could have just been an extra 14 pieces face down at the start, right? Like there's some stuff where it's that, when it's that close, the placement is kind of ambiguous as it is, right? Like, and you did a fantastic job. And kicking off the year with a first place finish solo 1,000, that's got to feel so exciting. What sort of plans do you have for the coming year?
So I signed up to go to the World Series in Munich.
Oh, cool.
I'm so excited about that one. I like at the previous Euro Jigsaw Jam, we were actually discussing, right, what would be a nice competition format. And well, this is basically the format, right? So like I have to join. So I'm super excited about that. Just like having a completely new competition format. I saw a lot of amazing people signed up, so it will be fun. So mainly that, I think.
That's really cool. And I know that for those of you that aren't quite familiar, the World Series, the way that it's set up, there's multiple rounds for solo puzzleists where each puzzle is testing a different aspect of puzzling, and there's different brands and different cuts, and there's going to be like an emphasis on gradients in one or busy puzzles in another. Like it's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So
that's super cool.
Yeah, which is really neat. Are you and I don't want to put any pressure on you. I've already pressured you enough today as it is with the close. But are you shooting for an overall goal or like individual round goals or a little bit of both?
What do you mean?
So like each of the rounds. Some people I've talked to, they're like, if I'm in the gradient round, I want to do really, really well in this, and if I'm a little rough on the other ones, that's okay. And then I kind of want to have my total placement be somewhere in here, right? Like that's kind of what I've talked to some people about, but not everybody does that. So I'm curious what your thoughts were.
So I think I mainly have an overall goal, but I do know which of the rounds are kind of my weak spot, so maybe I will work on those. So yeah.
What for someone that is such a fantastic puzzler, I know that people that are a little bit slower, or this year they want to work on new things. How are you approaching the parts of your puzzling that you think you need to work on?
Yeah, I think mainly it's just practice that particular thing, right? Like I think last year I noticed I'm a bit like I became faster, right, over the last year, but then I didn't become that much faster at gradients. So I couldn't really keep up. So I just went to my puzzle library at my sister's house, and I looked at all the like, oh, this is a gradient sky, this is a gradient sky. I just grabbed a whole bunch of gradient puzzles and I started doing those. And it helps if you do multiple puzzles of the same type, because then you have like consecutively, because then you can figure out your strategy, right? You can think, oh, this works, this doesn't work. You can experiment a bit and easily compare. So I think that's mainly what I've been doing for. I still think I'm not that good at gradients, but well, and now I noticed I'm very bad at puzzling without the box, which is the only thing I used to do as a kid. We never used the box because I was cheating. And then for speed puzzling, I really had to practice using the box, and now I cannot do it without the box anymore. So it's
the pendulum swings in the other direction, right?
yeah. So I think that's mainly a thing that I should practice again. So enough stuff that we can still improve.
I do want to do a couple of quick shout outs because we've had a lot of finishers and under the 2 hour line, and Graham Parker just finished. Just want to give him a shout because I know one of his goals was to like consistently get these thousands down under 2. So well done. No, like Inge, I'm so excited for you because even the things that you want to work on, you're already really good at. So I can only imagine that, like, as time goes forward, just how much faster you're going to get overall. And the World Series is going to be really exciting. Do you have any non-competition puzzle goals for the year?
I don't really think that much in terms of goals.
Oh, okay.
So I would have to come up with them now, non-competition related. I don't know. I one goal, sort of goal, that I still have is I would really like to participate in a 24-hour puzzle marathon, but we keep missing the registration. And this year we actually were asked to join a team for a 24-hour marathon, but it's at the weekend of the Dutch championship. So if someone is still looking for a teammate for a 24-hour puzzle marathon, I volunteer.
I think you just became a very popular person in the chat and in other places. If folks know that you're hunting to go to one of those marathons, by all means, reach out to Inga, because she's going to be a fantastic person to have on the team and just to hang out with. You're a cool person, so I think that'll be really great.
I think marathons are like my favorite type of puzzle event. They are so much fun.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's because you can do a lot of puzzling, of course. More puzzles is better. And then like the whole atmosphere is great. I think Michelle can attest to it. We've been to the marathon in Belgium, and it's like really local. It's in a school, and there's just everyone joining, just trying to finish the puzzle, and then you just want to reach the next one. Even it doesn't really even matter where you place, right? You just want to finish as many puzzles as possible. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago, where they were saying that sometimes if you're a speedy puzzler, it's almost like you get penalized for being speedy, because then you don't get to puzzle as much. So the marathons are a good spot to be like, hey, I'm gonna get to do as much puzzling as I humanly can afford to do.
Yeah, we're always joking, like you get more of your money's worth if you use the full time span, right? So also with escape rooms, stuff like that, you just use all the time you have, and then you're very efficient. But if you're too speedy, sometimes it's sad, right? Because then you finish and then you're like, okay, that was it.
Yeah, it's like bowling. If you're really good at bowling, you actually get to do less bowling. So
yeah,
no, that's so exciting. Well, I don't want to keep you from enjoying the rest of your Sunday, and like go on adventures. Is there any like shout outs, things you want to say to the puzzle world before heading off to your next adventure?
No, not necessarily. I just hope that everyone's enjoying the puzzle and keep pushing, and still plenty of time to finish. And I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations again on being the first 2026 Solo 1000 EJJ champion. Congrats. That was just a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fantastic, Inga. Congratulations. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we are coming up to 1 hour and 59 minutes, and we've had 26 finishes so far. And here comes Alona. Alona is also going to finish under the 2 hours. So yeah, looking really good here. We have about 80-ish people in the meeting. So yeah, about a third, a bit less than a third have finished so far. On screen right now, we have Zach. He's only got a few border pieces to go, and then some pieces in the arts and craft. Helen, also just a handful of pieces left. Tammy, Karina, and Jonathan also coming up in the next few minutes.
Oh, it's so exciting. And I was talking about earlier that fatigue sets in around the 35 minute line. So everybody is really pushing now to try to wrap this up as we cross that 2 hour mark. It's so difficult because you've been staring down at these pieces and they can start all looking the same a little bit. So I tend to recommend people every so often just blink for a few seconds. Sometimes the time investment of just staring off in the distance for 5 seconds or just readjusting your posture is enough to save you time on the other end, because you're then more relaxed, more comfortable. You can see Zach coming into the close, finishing up those edge pieces pretty rapidly here.
Congratulations, Helen and Zach from the UK. Just above 2 hours. Well done.
Hey, congratulations.
All right, so Victor, if you're there, you can turn your mic on.
Hello.
Hi, Victor. How did you enjoy the puzzle today? Did it make you happy?
Um, as an illustration, as you all know, I don't like collages.
Famously, yes.
So there's this factor. But I really liked the sortability of this puzzle. I went back to look at the live stream and I saw that I was only shown at the very end. But I think I was sorting for 20 minutes, and that sorting was actually so nice because I tend to struggle with structured sorting, and this time I said to myself, okay, I want to sort those things that I see that I don't even exactly know what they are. So I started sorting them, and then when I had enough of them in my hands or in a pile, I look at the box to see where they go, and I just place the sorted pile in the correct spot so that I don't have to move things around. Although at some point I had to move like 10 pieces. It was this blue floor with yellow and pink dots, the second from the left on the top row. But that was it. So I really liked that I was able to sort, and I didn't do any mistakes with the sorting, because that was an issue with the practice that I did before Christmas, that when I was doing just 1,000 pieces. Yeah, and to be honest, this time I kind of focused on fluidity rather than speed. And I was surprised at the end that it caused me to lose so much time because, don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with being second. The ranking is amazing, but I am disappointed with the time that I got because this puzzle is, for me, it shouldn't be more than 1 hour and 20, at least in my head. So I was surprised with the time that I got. But yeah, maybe I just have to try to incorporate the speed into the fluidity. Yeah, because I wasn't rapid this time around, I think. So yeah.
No, I totally get what you're saying, and I was keeping a few tabs on you because anytime you do a big sort up front, it's kind of unusual from what you normally do. So I was real curious to see what you're doing. You were sorting for about the first 15 minutes or so before you like really started doing assembly, and it was so fascinating because once you had done that, you just zippered through those things, and your precision on that sort is phenomenal. How much do you think that your practice sorting for like your worlds pair and team and everything kind of helped you today with that?
I don't know, because I didn't really train sorting specifically for teams and pairs, because in pair I don't really do the sorting that much because we don't want to waste time on me not doing the pieces, but I tend to sort for myself. And for the team, we realized that I'm really good with sorting, not in a way that we needed sorters, so I volunteered to train the sorting. It was just coincidental.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Tell me a little bit about what things weren't easily sortable. Like what sort of things, like as you're doing your flip, did you look at and you're like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm gonna deal with it later.
In the initial sort, I went for the most recognizable sections, so the rooftops and some of the walls. The hard thing to sort was obviously the things in the windows, some of the doors, but not all of them. Some of them were sortable, even if I didn't know that they are doors. And also, I think now that I'm looking at the puzzle, I sorted this section of pink and like red grid on it. So this is the like a wall from the top row, third building from the left, and you cannot see that on the box.
Yeah.
I sorted those pieces and I put them together, and they were just laying in the very middle of the puzzle. And I was, because I don't want to waste time on trying to find it. So when I was doing something else, I was just glancing at the picture, and every single time I was like, okay, I have to find where those grid pieces go, and I couldn't find it. And at some point, I just finally was like, okay, this is the only place that they can go.
that forced process of elimination, right?
Yeah.
No, it's so cool to hear how you think about things and how you process it. I also totally understand what you're saying about feeling like you weren't moving your fastest in the late game. And I kind of wonder sometimes whenever puzzlers change up what their process is or how they're doing things, they kind of get focused in on that and they kind of slip away from some other stuff. Do you think that might have been kind of what happened today for you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I think the fact that the building that had the sticker on it, as well as for Inge, I realized, which is not really fun to realize, is that I am not really good with doing a puzzle without a picture. Especially those very busy displays, because I like to do very busy puzzles. I am good at them, so it's not a problem. But after I saw that this sticker is basically the whole display of the shop, the arts and crafts, I was like, this can generate two problems. First one is that I won't be able to put the pieces together unless I look at them as if they were solid color pieces and I just go by shapes. And the second thing was that I won't be able to know if the piece that I have and I want to sort it out from the main pile, if it's in like underneath the sticker, or if it's somewhere that I just cannot find the piece. And that was slowing me down in the end, because I tend to just grab pieces that I'm absolutely sure and like on an estimate where they go.
Yeah.
And with this one, I was just like, I can see the difference between the pieces, but I don't know which ones go to this shop and to like, yeah, that was stressful.
Yeah, that's a wildly tricky section. And you saying that you use the box a lot, and then that sticker we were saying it kind of does the like Mike Wazowski for Monsters Inc. thing where it's covering up the one spot. And that's got to be really, really tricky to work through. I didn't when we were watching, we didn't know that the sticker was covering that zone, so it was like, yeah, it makes sense that would be a tough part just because of the like duplication and how busy it is. So it's interesting to hear your thought process on how you were dealing with that.
And also one thing was that in now that I am seeing the completed picture, that this display underneath the sticker, it has two different backgrounds, because in the top half you have green dots, and on the bottom half you just have the clean white. Mm-hmm. So that was even more like difficult to see if those pieces actually go together or not, because why do they have a different background?
Yeah, no, that would be totally wacky. Oh man. Well, tell us, you put up a fan like an amazing time today. I know it wasn't the like sub 120 that you were shooting for, but for us mere mortals, that is truly phenomenal. tell us a little bit about what your puzzle goals were for this past year, and how you hit them.
Mm, so I don't remember, how long it took me to come up with them, because I was just like, oh wait, what they were. The first one that didn't totally came true was that I wanted uh, to win worlds, and I kind of did with the teams.
That counts. That counts as a win. That 100% counts as a win.
Yeah, because like in the very beginning of the year, I don't think I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the solo, because I don't exactly remember when when was it? Oh wait, I think we already were a team. Oh, never mind. And yeah, so that was one of the goals, and the second one was um, that actually came true. Um, oh yeah, to be able to handle the stress of in-person competitions, and that was one of the biggest achievements for me. Not even getting faster, that was a big thing, but being able to stay fast in the competition was equally as difficult for me, because last year at Worlds I wasn't as fast as I was this year. I would say even a lot of slower, but also a lot of stress and inability to cope with the stress.
that's that's absolutely huge, and I know a lot of other puzzlers also like juggle that. So I'm really excited that you were able to like find a way to jump on it. I know that for those of you listening, I highly recommend checking out Rob Shields's Peace Talks podcast, because he's had a lot of puzzlers on there where they talk about this. I know Michaela Keener's talked about it. Several people have all referenced stress being a major component, because there's this pressure of how well you're going to do in the competition, but also as you're puzzling, the pressure of, am I staying on this section for too long? Do I need to move on? Am I not going fast? Like all of those extra questions that kind of jump in there make it really, really difficult. So I'm really glad that you found a way to like tampen down that stress, so that way you can just puzzle like you without having to puzzle with that extra burden on top of it.
Hmm. And also because of the fact that people are getting faster in general, and I don't just mean people like at the very top, but in general, everyone. Everyone needs to remember that the questions that pop up into your head, like as you said, if I'm spending too much time on this one section, at some point you'll realize that you cannot really succumb to those questions, because you're going to get faster by training, and the perspective of the time passing will be different. And at some point, you'll be so good compared to your previous level that you thought that, oh, I'm not going to get any more faster. That you just can spend time on those difficult sections, and it's going to, pay off. And you just don't have to stress about every single thing and be as analytical at some point in your training. It's good to have that and do that while training, but during competitions, you just need to do what you know. And it's difficult to do, to just abandon the way you're doing speed puzzling like at home every single day or every other day or once a week. So
Wait, you're
yeah.
you're saying it's difficult to break a habit, Victor? That's just silly talk. That's no, I really I really that's a really great insight that I think a lot of people would do well to absorb a little bit, is that you can practice one way, but then once you're in a competition, trust that training as best as you can, and try not to stress about where you're not, but focus on where you are and what's going on in the moment.
Mhm.
I really really like that. What are you looking forward to this coming year?
I'm looking the most to World Series. This year, this is going to be my main international event, I think, because I don't know if I go to European Championships, and most probably I'm not going to Worlds. So World Series is the thing for the next year. But also in Poland, we are going to have this special event that is kind of run by the association, but like I don't know, maybe half, and the other half is um, intertwined with this fantasy uh, convention in Poland that is very very big, and they are doing this kind of, how do they call it? We are going to have, and we are actually having at this point, uh, regionals. And during those regionals, if this specific competition is counted by the convention, the people that get top 3 in the individual races, they get a free pass to go to the convention. And during that convention on the specific day, there is going to be a grand final. And only the people that got the pass from the regional competition, so got the top 3, are going to be able to
Okay.
compete there. And so this is going to be very unique type of competition, because not everyone is going to be able to just sign up. Even if you go to the convention, you're not going to be able to, jump in.
Yeah.
And I know Netherlands are doing something similar with the Jan van Hasten puzzles. They have regionals, and they have to advance to the final. But I think they have for all of the categories. This is only for solo.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this competition should be very interesting, because I think we are going to at least have 3 out of the 4 Polish powerhouses there, and maybe all of them. I don't know. And yeah, and the main prize in that event is costs covered for flights, accommodation, and participation fees for Europeans. So if I win, I will go.
That's so cool. Yeah. No, that's great. I'm excited that there's so many like cool competition formats coming up, and like I'm excited to just see how much puzzling has grown in Poland. I think you are in no small part a big factor of that, because a lot of people are just they're excited to see someone put in the work to get better and have really succeeded in that. And that's a really really cool story that I think a lot of people are hyped about. And you're just a really fantastic human being, and it's exciting to see just the wellspring of puzzling that you've encouraged, just across the world in general, but also where you're at. So congrats to you, and I'm excited to see all of those things come down the pipeline. And I know you're probably going to do a couple more EJJs at some point or another.
I love
And
them.
good. Because I always love getting to like chat with you for a bit. And I'm excited for another fun year of puzzling with you, because you're just a blast to watch and learn from, and it's really cool. I don't want to eat up all of your day. So is there, before we let you go on your next adventure, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, or say hi, or happy New Year?
I want to give a shout out to Melissa Townsend and all the team that is behind World Series, because I truly believe that this event is going to be glorious, and it's going to surpass Worlds, at least for me.
I'm sure they hear you loud and clear on that, and a lot of that team's probably super excited that you're excited too. So that's great. Congratulations on a fantastic puzzle today, Victor, and a great way to kick off 2026. And we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, Victor, and congratulations. See you next time.
Thank you. See ya.
All right, so
cool to hear all about all of those competitions that he's like going to and heading out. That's just really thrilling.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of anticipation about the World Series and what that could be, and yeah, how that will actually play out. Something to point out is that it's basically like the semifinals of Worlds in terms of the caliber of people. If you look through the list of people who've already registered, they're all people who, the majority of people I recognize, and they can do puzzles very consistently under 1 hour. So it's going to make it tough. So even when I looked at the list, I was like, where would I place it out of 340 people? Like, it's a really tight field.
Yeah. Well, and the time limit's an hour 15 for every round. Like that's tight on a 500. And they're not going to throw easy puzzles at these people either. Like they're gonna do some tough things because they know it's high caliber. So it's going to be exciting. Yeah.
So yeah, if Lenka, yeah, thank you for waiting. You can join, turn your mic and your camera on. We'd love to have a chat with our third place. Congratulations, Lenka.
Hello, thank you so much.
Yeah, what did you think of the puzzle today?
I think it was much more difficult than I expected. Because when I saw it, it seemed to have clear sections, pretty colors, each color's different from each other. But then I just saw the pieces and I panicked. I didn't know what to do.
Well, it seems like you didn't panic for very long, considering the time that you put up. So, walk us through a little bit about how you wrangled in your uncertainty in order to crush this one.
So for a long time, I was puzzling in the last EJJs without sound, but now recently I decided to put the sound back on to hear the commentary.
Oh no, you had to listen to us? I'm so sorry.
I think that sometimes it makes me slower, other times it makes me faster. So now I got into this time that, okay, it might make me faster. Because if I'm sure behind someone with the commentary, I know that I might be able to finish well. So I did with the commentary, and actually it was good because many times you kept mentioning me in the top positions. And I could hear that there seemed to be a gap in the podium, and that, okay, I might eventually get there. Even though if I looked at my table, it was just a mess and everything was missing and all just looked the same and colors everywhere. But it still seems to me from the commentary that I was doing better than most. So I just kept going and tried one strategy, didn't work. Then I tried another, then another, and until I find a way to do it. But yeah. I don't hear you. I made it.
Oh, that would do it. That would do it. I'm glad that hearing the little bit of hype helped encourage you a little bit. It was fun to see. I think it was when you were not quite at the point of close, but a little before then. I saw the adrenaline hit, and you just like picked up this new physicality pace to wrap up the end of it, and that was really fun to see. Like, do you ever? I know some puzzlers kind of get the little bits of like adrenaline tremors sometimes whenever they come into the end of the puzzle. Do you find that happens for you at all?
It happened many times with the thousands when I was puzzling without commentary. A few times I thought I would get the hardest thing. I'm like, oh my god, I can win, and then I finished. I hit the done, and I was, okay, then why was I dying? So now also with the commentary, it made me calm down, and I knew better where I stood, and I think it made it easier.
That's really cool. It's so fun because some puzzlers, the commentary stresses them out because they hear, they hear that somebody's like close to finishing, or they're nearing it up, and so it kind of it spooks them a little bit. like we can see on screen right now, like Aaron is coming into like the last 10 pieces or so. Yuka not too far behind. Issa's doing a fantastic job closing out. Nora has maybe about 50 pieces remaining. Lynn doing an excellent job. Only has some sections to close out, and then the ice cream. And Taya is down to the last edge pieces at the top remaining. Like all of that is really exciting and true, but sometimes people are listening to that kind of information. It's overload and they stress out. So
Yeah, I wonder if you were just encouraging them or stressing them.
yeah. So what about that external information feels exciting and helpful as opposed to overload?
I guess it very much depends if you are the one doing better than most.
You know, sometimes it's clear. It's clear like that.
I think it keeps pushing the ones that you say are the best, and maybe you might even influence the result by this. Who knows?
Oh man. Well, and you are like you know inherently you are one of the top puzzlers in the world. Just like look at the numbers that you put up consistently. You're in that upper atmosphere of of puzzling. Do you ever feel pressure for yourself to like perform at a certain level in a competition?
All the time. I know that I can do it. I know that I can reach podium, at least in the JJs. In the in-person competitions, it very much depends at the level and how many of the fastest people are there. But many times I know that I can. I have done it repeatedly, so I know I can. But yeah, then sometimes it just gets very bad.
Well, we were talking with Inga earlier that just putting up a fantastic time is wildly impressive, and then if the positions are like really close together, in my mind, if you're within like 5-10 seconds of somebody else, you're at the same spot positionally, right? Like there's enough randomness in there. Do you like in the past year, were you pretty excited about the goals that you set for yourself time wise?
I would say yes. Mostly, I think thanks to EJJs. So that's why I also always kept participating, because that's when I realized that, let's say, in the first half of the puzzle, since I can go back in the live stream, I kept seeing that in the first half of the puzzle or at the very beginning, I was very much at a similar pace to the fastest people, if not even faster than them. But then in the second half of the puzzle, I would drop and just everyone would start passing me. So I realized that I could do it, and I needed to get more consistent. And yeah, I was for some time I kept track of, let's say, not just my positions, but the times, overall people, and so on. And I realized that I was able, in certain conditions, to pass most of the people in the world. So it doesn't matter that if it was there's worst day ever and my best ever, but I managed. So it's certain alignment of stars or whatever, I'm able to get there. So then I just need to make it more consistent.
Is that one of your like plans for this year? Is find a way to be more consistent throughout the entire puzzle?
Yeah, be more consistent and be more of a competition to the fastest people. So I'm happy that I seem to be managing that.
Well, I'm sure a lot of folks are already feeling the heat of your breath on their neck as you're like as you start chasing them down, which is really cool. How do you, as someone that's already a very very strong puzzler, how do you approach trying to become more consistent? Is it just practicing more large piece puzzles and trying to keep a pace? Do you use metronomes? Like what are you doing?
I had to start doing many more new puzzles. So I didn't used to buy a lot of puzzles. I didn't used to own a lot, but I realized that in order to be able to give competition, I need to start getting more puzzles and do them. So that's again one thing good about the EJJs. I get to know a lot of different brands and different styles, and I get to practice with all kinds. Because if not, there are kinds of puzzles that I would never buy in my life. There are certain types that I never do. So, and
There's
this
there's
way I get to do everything from time to time.
there's definitely something to be said for I guess I do have to eat my vegetables today and do something that you wouldn't normally practice on. That it's and I really I think that that's a great thing about the EJJs is that there's such a wide variety of different brands and images and styles that you run into. Is there what sort of puzzles do you tend to gravitate towards, and what ones do you tend to shy away
Mm, I like more difficult puzzle, let's say. Busy images, illustrations. Let's say the puzzle from today might be one that I would pick myself. Ones that are interesting in some way, where you can see the art, the thought of someone, not just a photography of the Eiffel Tower or sunset or something like that. But yes, they are also good, but I prefer to do puzzles that would take some time to, let's say, enjoy the puzzle for longer. So some kind of challenge. And I don't practice at all the other types. So nature, photography, animals, and these types of puzzles. I normally don't do them. So I have to start.
there's I really like that moment of like I don't really know and I guess I should like
No, not at all. I really don't. But it is what it is.
and that's okay. It's fun to hear you say that you like the puzzles that have something interesting or a little weird about them because I do know a lot of puzzlers that just love those landscapes or love those photorealistic realistic styles. So jumping around, just the wide variety is really cool. I know we talked for a moment about like what your practice plans were. What goals in general did you make for yourself last year that you were excited about?
Mostly to go to more competitions, both online and in person. So I was happy to manage that. Then once again, I wanted to show the world that I exist, let's say, to to get to the first positions, to show that I'm here and that I'm able to give chase, to participate. And then there were some achievements that I was not even planning, and I managed. I was planning to do marathons, and here I am. I did 3 or 4 marathons in 2025, and I got to love them a lot. So I was very happy that people started inviting me to these types of competitions as well, and I really got to enjoy them. For example, one of them was the Belgian 24-hour marathon.
Oh yeah.
I was never planning to sign up, but to be honest, it was the first puzzle competition in the world I ever heard of. It was some 10 or 15 years ago. I already heard about this competition, and at the time we spoke with my sister Veronica, like, hey, this competition exists. Let's go there one day. Like in a wild future, let's go one day, and we did it this year.
That's I'm so glad that you got to like check that off of your puzzling bucket list and get to do it. Are you gonna try to go again this year?
I have no idea. I need to be invited, but even so, I'm not sure if I will be able this year. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, scheduling stuff is always a shenanigans, right? I will say, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but Inga was looking for a way to hop in on that. So if you need an extra person, you know at least one person to hit up, which is really cool.
Yeah, I was hearing to her, and I also agreed with everything she said. So as if I already gave the interview, but said better.
Oh no!
I agreed with everything that she said. It was so good.
I'm really excited for you and all that you've done so far. What are you looking forward to this coming year? Like last year, you were excited to do the marathons. What are you excited about coming up?
So as everyone else, the World Series. As Victor said, I'm not sure if I would go to the Worlds or Europeans this year. So at least the World Series, yes. And there will be a few nationals that I would like to participate in. And more than that, I have no idea. See what
Just
comes
wherever
out.
the wind takes you after that point, right?
Absolutely. So many competitions keep popping up during the year, and the ones that I thought I would never go, and I end up being there. So let's see.
That's
Yeah.
that's so cool. Do you have like where you're at? Is there a big or a tight knit like puzzle community that you get to hang out with pretty regularly?
We chat online, but we almost never meet because everyone lives in different cities, and
Mm.
though with other people we are in the same city, we somehow never manage. So, puzzle, on our own, but keep talking about it. At least.
Gotcha. Yeah. I've talked with several people who kind of do the like puzzling separate but together thing, where it's like we might not be able to be at the same table, but maybe we just like hop on a Zoom call or a Google Meet or something like that, and just like I'll do a group thing, which is cool.
Also, we have not done that yet, but let's see, maybe one day.
SJ was in the comments and was saying that SJ loves photography puzzles and wishes they were more common in speed puzzling.
They are too fast, to be honest. Every time there are
Really?
crazy people who do it in less than 30 minutes, and you're still halfway. How? Because I'm able to keep up with other types of puzzles, but then there are these ones, and it's completely something else different. I don't know how it's possible.
What do you what do you think it is about those kinds of puzzles that tend to make them pretty fat? I don't think of photorealistic puzzles in solo division as being particularly like super duper fast, but uh in teams and pairs like they really fly, which is kind of weird. What do you think adjusts for that?
I think they are more sortable. Many times you have a sky and the rest, or maybe there is a tree, or maybe there is a building or something, and you can divide it between people. So it might be much easier compared to busy puzzles. But also the puzzles might be more similar to each other, meaning you did 10 of them, you did them all, something like that. Like you've done a sunset, you've done a building, you've done I don't know, a mountain or something. So maybe the people who practice them more don't think of the next puzzle as first tries. Let's see. They kind of know what goes where and how it works. So yeah, that might be the reason why it's faster for some people.
Maybe.
And also many times you need to shape swords, the mountain, and so on. There are people who are much better at that.
Yeah, that may, it all good reasons. And I you're just you're just a delight. I don't want to eat into the rest of your day. So before we let you go on to your next adventure, there any shout outs you want to give to people? Happy New Year's or anything like that?
Maybe to everyone who is listening or not, who is considering participating in competitions and thinks that they are or not good enough, or that they keep postponing it for whatever reasons, and they might be doing very, very well if they try it. So go for it, try some of the competitions or online or in person, and maybe you get to like it and keep going.
The worst case scenario is you have fun and then you get addicted to it, and then you end up doing a lot of puzzles, and eventually you might have to talk to some goofball like this, right? Like who knows what could happen. I really like that. Go do some puzzling. Thank you so much, Lenka, and congratulations on a really fast time. That was really cool to see.
Thank you, Lenka. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So we're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. If you are still puzzling, no worries. You still have 50 minutes to finish. The deadline is 3.5 hours. And we have had 62 finishes so far. We have some people who are going to finish in the next couple of minutes. We've got Lily, Jessica, Fleur, Angelica, Una, and Wendy just moments away from finishing their 1,000 pieces. So everyone's doing really well so far.
Oh yeah, it's you know, we're coming up on that like 2 hour 41 minute line, and so you know, starting first thing in the morning on a big puzzle and trying to like finish strong is so difficult. But you can see once you get to those last 10 pieces, everybody gets that quick little jump to get those last couple of pieces in. Angelica closing out really fast. Una down to those last 10 pieces or so. Jessica sporting a fantastic looking Euro Jigsaw Jam sweatshirt, looking really warm in while doing some cool puzzling, closing out the last 30 pieces or so. Fleur coming
Yes.
into the end. There it is.
Yeah, Fleur, we see that. Please send us a photo. Please send us a photo of the missing pieces. There are a couple of, Angelica just had an extra piece. So if you have a missing or an extra piece, send us a photo of that. We'll try to match them up if possible. Otherwise, we'll speak to the manufacturer about that. So Una, there we go. Congratulations as well. So yeah, let's have a chat with Stefan. Thanks for hanging around a bit. He finished under 2 hours. And yeah, we'd love to have a chat with Stefan from Switzerland.
Hey guys, do you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, hello.
Hello there. Hey, congratulations on beating the 2 hour line. That's really
Thank
impressive.
you. That was actually a first for me.
Hey, there we go.
Very pleased with that one. Yeah.
Fantastic time.
Have you been chasing the sub 2 hour 1,000 for a bit?
No, I've not particularly been chasing it since I've been mostly doing 500 pieces the last year. In like preparation of Swiss nationals and the worlds. I feel like 1,000 pieces are just like coming up as practice from now on. But I've been doing some during like summer break, and well, I didn't manage to get sub 2 hours on those.
That's really great. I'm excited to hear it. Tell us a little bit about what you thought whenever this puzzle came out of the wrapping.
Well, I was a bit concerned because I'm like a big edge first guy. So seeing the wide edge just kind of made me like, wow, it might not be possible. But then as you were sorting and flipping, you saw that the edge actually connects to the houses, so that was fine. Other than that, I really loved it. I like very different textures. I think that's something I see like quite well. So seeing like the different rooftops and everything, that really spoke to me. So I was happy seeing that, and also really colorful. I like those kind of pictures.
Have you spent a lot of time on the top of buildings, like on roofs? Is that why they spoke to you?
I'm quite a tall person, so they're just like eye level for me. So that's that.
Yeah, it's what you normally see if you're just out and about. So,
yeah, exactly. That's the
it reminds you of home up there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's really cool. Did you try to sort the different like roof colors out as you went, or did you kind of do them one by one?
Yeah, I had like trays prepared, but I think that's something that will be on my 2026 to-do list, trying to organize my puzzling a bit more. I just try to sort it out and then stopped sorting and then went back to it and didn't really commit to either fully sort or like just go one by one. So it's been a mix between the two of them. But yeah, I think I tried to get most of the rooftops, and then from there it's more been like a chaos sort.
And that is chaos sort like a default mode that you also use in the 500s, or is that kind of unique to the 1000?
No, I think that's like everywhere. So it's just like the brain or the ideas that I have don't really match up with like the organization skills that I have up to this point. So I just, you know, you start to get the picture the longer you're at the puzzle, and then I just most of the time I'm like, oh yeah, see, this would be something I need, and then I'll just pick like 20 random pieces that are not really in one section, and yeah, I mean, I can go fast like this, but it's not optimized, I would say.
Well, but it works, and that's the important thing sometimes. Is that you know, I tell people with my partner Mario, whenever we're coaching people, we tell people, if pieces are going in, you're making progress, right?
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Tell us, and I know that there were some chaotic puzzles at Worlds this year. Tell us a little bit about what your goal last year was for your puzzling.
So I started like right during Worlds 2024 with like speed puzzling. So my goal was just to join Worlds firstly, but then as I progressed and trained a bit, I was like, okay, I think I might be able to push as far as like having my goal go to the finals. Just for individuals, and that's like where I mostly focused on. Therefore, also why I did the 500 piece puzzles. And yeah, it kind of worked out. That was like the only real goal, because I didn't, like in Switzerland, we didn't really have a lot of local competitions. And the one I joined was, yeah, there were like 12 people. So I was able to win that one, but it wasn't really representative. But yeah, I managed to get to the finals at Worlds, and then like eventually actually managed to get to the, I think, top 50% in there as well. So 86, which was like way above expectations. I still to this day,
Congratulations,
yeah,
that's huge.
Thank you. I will say one of the things that probably worked in my favor is I didn't manage to qualify for pairs finals. So I wasn't as trained as other individual puzzlers. It wasn't the hardest one, but it took a lot of energy. So I could save that energy for just focusing solely on individuals.
Gotcha.
It's not a strategy I want to repeat. So if I go again, I would like to make it to finals in pairs as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, just taking it step by step. This year it was finals and solo. Next year it's finals and solos and pairs, and then you get the trifecta the year after that.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, it's really cool. How does it like what all was involved in trying to get into finals? Because I know that it was a pretty tight field this year. Like you had to be able to you have to be able to consistently get a puzzle done under like the 55-minute mark in order to like be almost sure to go into the next round.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm trying to push for under 50 minutes on like common, like normal difficulty puzzles. Of course, there's like some that, like the finals, for example, that was just a bit more difficult than other ones, I would say. That's why also the times were a bit slower. But yeah, for me, it was like quantity over quality training for that year. So I didn't really know how to approach it, and there wasn't all that much material out there yet as to how you should train. So I just did a lot. I went to thrift shops and just whatever I saw, I bought. And yeah, I was actually at some point just getting to a level where when I did the same puzzle like 5, 6, 7 times, you kind of know the picture by heart, and then you realize how fast you can actually move and how drained you can be physically, and then translate that to puzzles you do the first time. Just be like, oh, I know I could and should move faster. That's just kind of like, yeah, balanced out to being like pretty solid first tries as well. But yeah,
I love that.
Sorry.
Sorry. I was just saying. I love that. We often call it working on the mechanics or getting just the physicality down, so that way you know what that pace feels like.
Yeah, because in the beginning I was like, I was done, but then I felt like, oh yeah, that was good. And when I got faster, I was like, oh yeah, no, I was definitely wasting 1 second per piece, maybe, and that adds up to like, what is it, like 4 or 5 minutes? Yeah. But yeah, I was a bit scared in like prelims at Worlds because I get the postcard one.
Oh yeah, that had to be a spooky round to be in.
Yeah, and I mean they're the same, but I never did the New York one, so I was like, okay, that might be tough because everybody's gonna pick that, everybody's gonna know that. I mean, Victor did it blazingly fast, so that wasn't helpful either. But yeah, so once I got through that, I was like, okay, I think now that we're ground level, everybody has like first tries in semifinals. That I will be like guessing from my times on my speed puzzling within like a certain area, a certain percentage, which also kind of translated to worlds. So that was nice to see.
That's so cool. I kind of, if it's all right, I kind of want to zoom in for a moment on that prelim round,
Yeah.
because I know that a lot of times after the first person finishes, there's usually like a wave of like 5 or 6 people around that same zone. But then after that, it just becomes this like crazy cacophony of finish here, finish there, and there's like applause happening all around you constantly. What's it like being kind of in the like middle of that path of having all of these finishes and not being 100% sure where you're lining up for getting into the next round?
Yeah, I think for me, I think the most important part was I did go to a Danish nationals just as like a preparation thing, just to get to be in like a competition and have a live stream and everything. So just to not have done it on like first time at Worlds, and would help me get through like the first round of applauses. Like Victor and everybody was just, accepting the fact that you're not going to be there, because I know I'm not. And then at some point I actually managed to like reframe that in my mind, being like, oh, I'm actually quite far in this puzzle, considering the fact that the fastest people are now only finishing. So I think I'm doing pretty well. And I listen to pretty loud, or like not crazy loud, but listen to music enough as to kind of wipe out the noise of clapping. I think like the first 2, 3, you start counting, you're like, okay, third, fourth, fifth are gone. And at some point you're just like, yeah, I mean, I do what I can do and I trained for it. If it's enough, it's enough. If it's not, well, can I try again next year? So I think it's kind of a mindset question, but I still see that people struggle with that a lot.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think I think people will always struggle with it. Like professional athletes struggle with that. I like how you're. It's cool that you were saying that you're kind of expected applause ahead of you at a certain point, and just like being comfortable with that being there. I've seen at sporting events, whenever teams are practicing, sometimes they'll let the teams practice in the stadium, and they'll pipe in audience noises that they've recorded from previous games, so that way they get used to hearing chants and stuff like that at volume, so they're comfortable with it. So it's cool that you kind of like use that environmental knowledge to kind of insulate you from the like panic that can set in sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I did struggle at the Danish ones, I must say. I did. I did good in the qualifiers and had like the live stream on me, and just like a very uniquely colored section in the end, and none of the pieces fit in at the end. Well, I think I am one of the lucky people who kind of thrive in competition rather than getting like overwhelmed or blocked out. So I think my fastest 2 out of 3 first tries were at competitions. So yeah, I think
That's really
I don't know if
exciting.
you can.
Congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if you can train that or if that's just like lucky that you have it. But yeah, so that's
It
really
can
fortunate.
it can definitely be a little bit of both. I know a lot of people, the adrenaline of being in competition helps kind of encourage them to keep a faster pace. There's some people that do better in live competition because there's people around them that they can kind of see and they're like, hey, they're doing really well. I need to keep it up. And there's some people where that's a detractment because, hey, they're doing really well. Oh no.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so it can kind of cut in a lot of different ways, and so each individual has to figure out how to harness that. And it's really cool that you were able to do it and make it into the finals, which is a major accomplishment, especially this past year with how tight the field was, with all of those different rounds. Like that's really really impressive.
Yeah, we notice in teams, like, I think you had to be around 45, 50 minutes faster. We were like, yeah, no, we're going to qualify for the team's finals easily based on like the times previous 2 years.
Mhm.
Nope. We weren't that slow. We didn't practice that much and we weren't doing that well, but we would have qualified by like 40 minutes in like the previous year, and we were out by like 10 ranks. Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is still really really good, but
Yeah,
it just shows that like the level of competition keeps going up every year, which is really cool.
yes.
Um, speaking of which, I'm so glad you hit your goal last year. What sort of things do you have planned coming up this year?
So I didn't really set a goal for Swiss nationals last year because I didn't, or I got waitlisted because I signed up a little too late. I did then get into it thanks to the organizer and like speaking a bit with him, and they had like people not showing up and everything. I managed to get onto the podium there, so maybe actually becoming Swiss champion would be nice. Though I know there's like a handful of really really fast puzzlers around, so the stars would have to align a certain bit. Also, with the rules changes, I think they have like unreleased puzzles for this year. So yeah, I will have to work on first tries. But that's just like the high end goal. And other than that, as I mentioned, I want to do like more organizational puzzling if it's possible, and therefore doing like more like 1,000-piece puzzles. And for that, also joining more teams and marathon competitions just to get like the social part and not just like the individual part in there. So working together, organizing a puzzle, and yeah, being helpful in a team.
That's that is such a lovely goal that is achievable and also huge.
Yeah.
That's going to be that's really really that's going to be a really cool thing to work on. How do you have ideas about how you're going to try to like approach that?
Not yet. Like just throwing myself into to competitions. I'm gonna be in at like the German nationals in a team, and then at like a 24-hour marathon in France, which is also in April. So like I have 2 early year competitions where I can do that already. Just train with like the team for German. But other than that, haven't really given it much thought because I've just been taking a bit of a speed puzzling break with like different things going on. So I will make up my mind as the year goes on.
That's just float on the wind until
Yeah.
the mood strikes. That's really, really great.
Stefan, you said something that I want to come back to. You said that when you've done a puzzle like several times, you like 4 or 5 times, you know it off by heart. Is that something you do a lot? That you just do the same puzzle over and over again? Like, do you take part in these challenges, these speed run challenges, where you just try and do the same puzzle and just push your time all the way down?
I actually don't know what was first, if it was me doing that or the speedrun challenges that got me into that. But yeah, I've been doing like the speed puzzling pals on like the Discord online challenges. But also it's kind of like a financial decision, no? Because you cannot always have first tries at like 500 different puzzles. So I have like a bunch of them at home, and the ones I like, I just do multiple times to improve on different things as well.
So you get your money's worth from each puzzle.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzlers that just do the reruns out of necessity, and it helps them overall, which is great. Do you ever?
I can recommend these competitions where you just try and push further and further. It's gotten crazy with like some people just being always in the sub 30s on every puzzle that is online. So it's just like here where you're just like, oh, I'm doing pretty well, but also like the gap from here to like top 1 is insurmountably big.
Do you ever get bored of the puzzles?
So in order to get my like chances up for Swiss nationals, I tried to, by process of elimination, just do like the colorful animal puzzles, like hoping that they would show up, and me just being like super fast on these. So I did all of them like 10 times. Like by the 10th time, I did get bored of them. But you know, a good thing if you're like really or have like a competitive spirit, you might get bored of the picture, but you see times or like breakpoints that inspire you to go again. So you're like, oh, I could do like the sub 50, or like, oh, I could do the sub 45. So I just try to do it again. So I mean, you get bored, but you're also motivated by like results.
Well, I guess in other sports and other competitions, you know, they just do the same thing over and over again. And I'm sure like whether it's like shooting hoops or just doing the same like backhand, like that's how you get better. You have to do it like, yeah, hundreds of times. And here maybe not doing the same puzzle hundreds of times, but definitely there is something for repetition in building that muscle memory and those skills.
Yeah, it's the same with like flipping and edge sorting and everything. I haven't given it the time of the day to just sit there and do that for hours and hours on end, but I mean, you have a flip with every puzzle, so that's already helpful.
Jim, your mic.
Yeah, I was just saying, the more you can make reflexive, the more you can let your brain figure out other things. So like the you know, if your mechanics are down where you're like, my body is doing this, so my brain can like laser in on something else. That's really cool. Clearly it is a good tactic because it got you into the finals, and not just in the top 100, but in the top 90, which is wildly impressive in the world of puzzlers that were there this year.
Yeah, I think also what I realized when doing like puzzle multiple times, as you said, some things just happen out of reflex. So you start noticing different details. So like when I started, I just had like big color blocks. I did like, oh, that's yellow, oh, that's green. And now you see like details like Victor mentioned with the arts and crafts house. You have like a gradient in the window where on top you have this little dotted background that goes to like a more like normal white background. So you start seeing like details if you do it like multiple times, and at some point those will also start to become a reflex in like different puzzles.
Yeah, I know that some countries or even every so often they have a puzzle that's the speed run for the whole year. Like in the U.S. Last year, the speed run was the Cobble Hill Rainbow Cats, and I think Irina did that puzzle something like over 200 times and was able to get it down under. I think I can't remember the exact number, but it was under 19 minutes. It might have been 17 something.
Yeah, I think it was like around 1740-ish,
which is wild. Is that something you've thought about doing? Is just like picking a puzzle and being like, this is the one. This is going to be the party trick to get down under the 20-minute line.
I don't know. I think I've seen a video of her doing that, and it's like a different thing. It's not really the speed puzzling anymore, or like, I don't know how much the skills will translate to like speed puzzling as we do it now. But from what I've seen, she just flips a piece and places it where it belongs, which will probably never happen in a different puzzle. So I don't know. I did similarly, like there's like the Disney collage where you have like 30-ish. I tried to do it like that, where you just like after 4 or 5 tries, you kind of know which one goes where. But there, for me, it comes like the organizational skills again. So I'm just like pulling everything all over the place. So that didn't really work out for me. No.
Well, it's cool to see how different people approach the reruns and what they kind of gather from it. You're absolutely right. Irina's way of doing that ended up being very much this is fully memorized, so my body is just reflexively placing them where they go. But she is also wildly rocketing up the rankings in terms of her speeds on all the other puzzles. So there's something to that has helped quite a bit. And it's cool to see you on a similar trajectory, even if you don't want to do the like 300 round grind.
That's fine.
Which is really cool. Do you ever? What's the? I don't want to eat up too much of your time because I know there's a lot of your day that you want to get to. Is there any shout outs you want to give to people, or Happy New Year's, or just love in general to the puzzle world?
I mean, for all the like Swiss people, we're starting to become like a bit more of a community, which is nice to see. So shout out to the Swiss puzzlers that are listening into, and especially Patrick, who completely sped through that one because his favorite type were like collages. So I knew coming into it, I would have a hard battle against him, and I lost it by a good chunk of time today. But see you at the next one again. So yeah.
There's always another one, and maybe do this one again against him and see how he does it on the rerun.
Yeah, well, let's see.
That'll be fun. Well, congrats, Stefan, on a job well done last year, and especially today, and a great way to kick off this next year of puzzling for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and have a good rest of your Sunday.
Yeah, thanks, Stefan. Thanks for participating, and well done.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So we're at 3 hours and 9 minutes. So we have another 20 minutes to go. And yeah, we had a few more finishes in the last minutes. So congrats to Jane, Romina, Danique, Everly, and Katarina, who all finished just after 3 hours. So yeah, Rebecca is doing really well as well. Maybe about 20 pieces left, and Sabina, last pieces, just a handful to go.
Come on, go Sabina, go! Keep it under 310 or 311. Let's go. You can do it. Get those last ones in.
Yeah, it seems to be the houses with the green bits in the middle, like the blues and the greens, and the arts and crafts, the books, the ice cream, and the florist. That seems to be the busy bits that are left over at the end.
Yeah, it makes sense. Those books, they look like they're kind of duplicated in that area. So there's this little bit of which orientation does it go. But sometimes if you can look, like, slow down your brain for a second and go, wait a minute, this book has some yellow on it, this book doesn't. Or, just get the orientation set up. Even if it takes you an extra second to get that discernment going, sinking them in afterwards is the payoff that can make up some time.
Yeah, and we also have Lindsay and Heike. Yeah, and just want to mention Denise is joining us. She came in an hour and a half late. I think she slept in and then she joined the YouTube and said, "Oh, I'm supposed to be in this one. Can I still join in?" So she joined around 90 minutes, I think. So she's got quite a tight schedule. However, she is one of the fastest puzzlers in the world. She did really amazing. So you may remember seeing her representing Germany at Worlds. So yeah, do your best, Denise.
And look at her. It's like she's making great progress here. I have full confidence she's going to be able to wrap this up. A lot of she's almost at the point of being able to use a lot of shape work in those sections in order to finish up. This is really really cool, and Haber is doing excellent as well, getting a lot of those sections built out, and is now doing some fill-in work on the patisserie and the bakery, which is strange to me because I think of those as the same thing, but I know they're different.
Yes, and joining us now for a chat is Nadia from Indonesia, who happens to live in Germany. And yeah, she did an amazing time today. Yeah, is this your best time for a 1000?
No, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that's good. No, I actually did another happily puzzle at the start of this year, and I got it under 1 hour. So that was my first 1,000 pieces puzzle under. No, I mean under 2 hours. So that was my 1,000 pieces puzzle under 2 hours.
Yeah,
So.
congrats.
Congrats on that. That's wonderful. Well, and this one was really was pretty close as well. Being able to cut that down.
What was the other one called?
I think it was from Happily in the 90s.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. I have In the 80s in my bookshelf.
Well, it was a nice image because you have like many different things, but they all have the clear structure and clear image, so it was easier to sort.
Yeah, good on you. And what did you how did you get on with today's puzzle?
Well, it was more difficult than I thought to. I tried to sort at first, but it wasn't that easy because I'm more of the chaotic puzzler. So I try to learn to sort more because I think that will pay off at the end. But here with this puzzle, I try to sort at the beginning, and I could only sort the roof of the houses. And the other thing was, well, I tried to sort by colors, but then I just gave up and then try to do some pick and place. Yeah.
Well, and that seemed to work for you in terms of getting the thing moving, right? And those roofs are easy to say, are kind of easy to see, but they're not necessarily easy to assemble once you have them all, because that's a good 30 40 pieces all in one chunk. How did you approach that kind of project where it's all very much the same color, or all the same texture in one zone? Because as a chaotic puzzler, that's either a boom or bust kind of situation.
Yes, that's correct. So I tried to go by pieces, and I noticed on some parts I kind of had a false fits, so that was kind of frustrating. But well, it went pretty well. So once I have big chunk of one block, then I try to concentrate on that one, and then um, try to brute force them. If
just kind of lasered in and went, this piece is going in now no matter what.
yeah,
Okay. It's cool that you were that you were able to like use that tactic to get it rolling. After you did the roofs, I know that it gets a little jumbly, but what was going through your head after that initial, okay, here are the like easy clear chunks.
I think I tried to look for the color that kind of popped up to me, and that was the dark green one, because there's only like the two houses on the left side that have the dark green color. So I tried to do that one first. Yeah, and then just like pick and piece the pieces. So I try to look for a specific color, and then just pull them in, and then I put them in the location that I thought that might go to, and then after that, yeah, just do some bits of here and some bits of there, and then yeah.
That's so cool, and I love how like you reach that point of like, okay, I'm not sure what to do, so I'm gonna get this little bits in. It's a great way to just keep moving and making progress even when you're not sure. That's so cool that you're doing that. Tell us a little bit about what your goals were for puzzling last year.
Well, at the time of the year last year, I didn't knew much about the speed puzzling world. So my first speed puzzling competition was at the German National last year in February. And I just went there with a preparation and such. And I didn't finish the puzzle in the 90 minutes. And then I thought, okay, this was fun, and I want to get better at this. So yeah, that was my goal, to be able to get to the next round at Worlds. Yeah, and um, I did that, and yeah, I was very happy with that. And I also learned about the EJJ, and I think I first joined the EJJ in March, and since then it's well, it's a great experience. So it also trains you mentally to be in the competition mode, I think. I remember when I did my first EJJ, I was pretty nervous that I even forgot to like set up my timer and did the thing with the camera, and yeah. So.
You have come a
Those
really long way in under a year, because if you went to German Nationals, which was in February, and then you did your first EJJ in March, you were in Trier for the marathon. You've been in
Yes,
team
that's
events.
right.
I think, were you at the Europeans as well, and then at Worlds? Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been around. And I saw you in Siegen as well. So that's
Yes, that's right.
from deciding in February that this is what you want to do, and you went in like full force, and you even got out of the 50 plus clubs. So
Yeah, yeah.
a successful
that's
year.
absolutely amazing. Have you just been snorting puzzle dust for the past couple of months?
Well, actually, I like that. Recently, my speed puzzle has the new feature to have the collection, which is your puzzle library. And I started like taking inventory of my puzzle, and it was really crazy that in just a year I went from 0 puzzle to 250 puzzles. And
Yeah, that's a little bit of an increase in the stockpile.
yeah,
That's
yeah. But I don't think that my puzzle collection will double the size this year. So I think like that might be like the limit of the puzzle because well, I think my husband will complain if I buy more puzzle and yeah.
That's it's I'm so excited for you because I know that one of your goals was to hit semifinals at Worlds this year. How did it feel to get into that, knowing that where you started was not finishing a puzzle in a first competition to here you are at semifinals at a world event? Like how did that feel?
Um, yeah, well, I was very happy. It kind of feel well, I was very happy to achieve that, but you have a problem that you get greedy. So once you achieve a specific milestone of the puzzle, and then you like to think, okay, I got to the semifinal and I want to reach the final, and well, I didn't get to the final because my puzzle was in the semifinal was this Paris
Oh
rainbow.
yeah, that one was tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that I'm bad at solid color blocks because well, I used to do the puzzle using the color information and not the shape pieces. But I was happy that I was able to finish the puzzle in the semifinal, so that was still a win.
That's a huge achievement. Like finishing to go from your very first competition and then finishing the puzzle in semifinals at World. That's huge. And Michelle has unceremoniously kicked you out of the 50 plus club, which has got
That's
to feel
huge
really
to go
cool.
from not finishing a puzzle in the German in the prelim round in the first
Yeah,
round.
yeah.
Uh, uh,
In the 90 minutes to getting into the sub 50. That's huge improvement in like such a short amount of time.
yeah, yeah.
What does your practice look like? Do you just like wake up and pour yourself a bowl of puzzle pieces and like eat them and absorb their power?
Well, not so. Because I work full time and I also have a kid. So that limits the hour that you be able to practice. So I just try to do at least one puzzle a day. So in some in the weekends, and I will be able to do like 500 puzzles or maybe 1,000 pieces puzzle. And yeah, I think that kind of helps. And I think what helped was that to try to get a whole variety of a puzzle. So I tried to not doing the same puzzle more than several times because but it it helps in another way. But I think especially at the beginning, it helps to get an exposure of what kind of images are there, and also the different piece cuts and the different shapes, and yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting that like you have these trade-offs at either end of the spectrum of a lot of variety so you can just get the experience of all the things, and then also drilling down to get all the details worked out. Had you done a lot of puzzling before starting last year in speed puzzling, like just in general?
Not really. Well, I did puzzles when I was a kid, but then life happened, so I didn't get to puzzle much. But I used to do some puzzle on my tablet, so like a puzzle game, but it's very different because you don't have haptics on your hand, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you don't need to rotate the pieces or flip the pieces, and yeah, so it's different in that uh,
That's
way.
it's so amazing that you didn't because a lot of people they get into speed puzzling after puzzling like doing jigsaw puzzles very regularly for a long period, and then they hear about speed puzzling and they kind of turn the crank. It's so fascinating to me to hear that you did them for a little while when you were a kid and then you hopped back on the train just last year and got to this speed. Like that's absolutely phenomenal. Where do you go from here? Like what's coming up this year for you? If this is where you're already at, like do we need to like warn Ravensburger? Do we need to warn Happily that there is a new puzzle monster coming for them?
Uh, mm, I think there's still a whole lot of training to do if I want to get on the same level like Victor or Kati. So I don't have the illusion that I will be like in the top 1% or the top 10% of the puzzling community. Yeah, but I'm happy with my progress right now. I think my goal this year would be like to have more of the sub 50 time, and I would like to have at least sub 1 hour times for the first try for this consistently because I'm not sure if I'm going to the World Championship this year. That depends on whether their words will be. So if it's in Valladolid, then I won't be going. Yeah, but that's why I'm excited for this World Series because there's different kind of things that they are going to challenge you. Because sometimes, like in the semifinal, it's also like more of a luck. What puzzle do you
Mm.
get? Because I noticed that on some puzzle I got better times, and on some puzzle it's more difficult for me.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and I agree with you that it's kind of cool to see uh, to both have the element of surprise and excitement for some rounds, but also have like what those images do over the course of the thing be an aspect. It's really cool, and not every competition is going to be able to have all of the formats or anything like that. But this is the World Series sounds like a really cool one. I know we have maybe about 2 minutes left on the clock. I did want to say that CMAC, I think that's Cameron in the chat was saying that you guys have a bit of a puzzle rivalry going right now, which is kind of fun.
Yes. It started, I think, at the European this year because in the preliminary rounds and in the final rounds, we finished like seconds of each other, and yeah, that's been going on until now. So yeah. And I love it when he's also in the competition because when I hear that Cameron is about to finish, and then I get like a speed boost, and then I try to catch up with him, and yeah, I saw that he finished a couple of minutes earlier than me, so congratulations to him. And yeah.
That's so cool. I always like it whenever there's these like friendly puzzle rivalries of like people that want to compete against each other but are still very friendly in a lot of ways. So that's fun. I know that we have a couple people that are pushing so hard right now to get as many pieces as they can in the last little bit of change. What sort of cheer would you give them right now as they come into the end here, Nadia?
I would say just push through, you'll get there at the end.
30 more seconds to go. Come on, Heike
Yeah.
and Lindsay and Denise.
You can do it. just stay focused. Pick a group of a color and sync it as quickly as you can. That's what Nadia was saying. Just any little groups that you can see, throw them together, and that'll count towards stuff. You're doing
10,
excellent. Just keep
9,
on pushing.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. That's 3.5 hours. Well done, everybody.
Very well done. It's so hard to do a 1,000-piece puzzle on your own, let alone force speed, and you all should be really, really proud of yourself.
Yeah, so Denise can keep going. She's just on her own timer. She's the one who started late, so yeah, she'll just record her own time. But yeah, she's doing really well for starting 90 minutes late. But yeah, well done, Heike and Lindsay. And I was watching Lindsay at the end, and yeah, she was just picking one color and dropping in all the whites, then dropping in all the yellows, and just yeah, was very consistent in those last minutes.
That's so cool. Well, and Nadia, like thank you for hanging out for a little bit with us and sort of sharing your big puzzle wins, and I'm just excited for you. Is there any shout outs you want to give to the puzzle world before we head off?
No, but I also I would like to thank you both, and I have to say I love listening to your commentary, Jim. You really did a great job, and it was really motivating to hear your commentary. So
Thank you very much. And I wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for Michelle, and that's she does all the magic and the actual stuff. So that's really kind of you to say.
Yeah, I'm really glad we finally got a chance to chat with you, Nadia, because you participated in many EJJs, especially you were doing lots of 50+ ones. Now we're going to see you more often in the sub 50s, but also you've been very active in visiting competitions in Germany and around. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what World Series brings. And are you going to Siegen?
yes, I'm going to Siegen.
Okay, so I'll see you
as
in
well.
February. Are you going to Dortmund?
No, I'm not going to Dortmund because it's too far away. Yeah, but I'm going to the German national in March.
Okay, the German nationals. All right.
Yeah.
So you already have some events in your calendar lined up.
Yes, that's right.
To look forward to. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Nadia, and well done on a 1,000-piece competition.
Yeah, thank you so much, and see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Congrats.
So we'll just wait for the last participants to enter their their piece counts into the puzzle. Into the timer. I'll just read out a couple of the last answers that I didn't get to mention through the competition. Sol wanted to get 1 hour. Sorry, to get sub 1 hour and 500 pieces. They are at 1 hour and 5 minutes, so almost. So still going to keep pushing. Yeah, yep. So I'm sure Sol's going to get it in the next few months. Svetlana, goal to enjoy the process and try something new. I did. I enjoyed my first puzzle competition and got second. Well, that's a really good start.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, and Zach complete competition puzzle in under an hour, qualified for at least one semi-final at Worlds, did better than I hoped, qualified for sub 50 EJJ and got to Worlds solo and team finals. And I know that he not only got a competition puzzle in under an hour and qualified for the semi-finals at Worlds. I know that because he was my table mate. So he definitely got a really good time. So he definitely got those ones. But yeah, it's just really exciting seeing how people are working towards goals and in many cases achieving them and surpassing them. And yeah, exciting to see what 2026 brings.
I'm excited, and thanks for having me to help kick off the new year of speed puzzling with you and with everybody else that's listening or watching or even participated today. Like it's going to be a good year of puzzling, I think, and you're a huge part of that, Michelle, and I'm excited to see what all comes down the pipeline.
Exactly. There's already like a full calendar of events available, so it's going to be exciting. I'm sure there's more things going to just pop up and surprise us as time goes by. I know there's lots of things happening in the background, so lots of things to look forward to. And yeah, thanks to everyone who's been watching and commenting, especially SJ who's keeping us company, and yeah, had to take her phone with her outside to go scrape this ice off her car, I think, and then came back.
Oh no.
But staying with us anyway. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's with us till the end, Angelica as well, and Cameron and Isa. And yeah, we'll see the next competition next. So this coming week we have an unreleased puzzle. There's a flex on Wednesday for 50 plus, and then the sub 50 on Thursday. So looking forward to that. And
That'll be a blast.
yeah, so we'll see you next time, Jim, and thanks everyone. Have a good day.
See you later.